Greetings, horror, sci-fi, and Diablo Cody fans. Drew here from Horror, Sci-Fi, and Beyond, and today is the second week of October. Last week, my friend Bradley Renfro joined me, and we took a trip to Transylvania to review the classic Mel Brooks horror comedy, Young Frankenstein. And today, we're talking about the '09 horror comedy starring Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried, written by Diablo Cody, Jennifer's Body. And with me today is the early champion of this movie. It's gonna be the singing wizard himself, Mr. Jackson Harbor. How's it going, man?
Howdy, y'all. Still a little bit peeved that I was not invited along to Transylvania, but
Yes, I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry about that. I didn't think about that. Here's my argument is I know extreme horror is you and Eric's thing,
Yeah.
and Alfred Hitchcock is me and Reed Lackey thing. And then I just kind of figured, well, Bradley likes the Universal monster movies.
This is true.
Um,
Yeah. He's
yeah,
way more into those than I am, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Even me. That dude is like obsessed with those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm deeply sorry I didn't invite you. I did not think
It's
about
just
that.
because it was the last movie my mom watched before I was born. So I feel like that
Okay.
movie helped birth me into the world. It's very
Okay.
personal.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. And then we got a brand new guest to the podcast into the October series. It's from the Fear God podcast. Reed's cousin, Worley. How's it going, Miss Jose?
It's going.
That's awesome. I'm glad you can be on this Jennifer's Body review.
Thank you. This is actually my second podcast about Jennifer's body.
Oh, really? What other
Yeah,
podcast were you on?
reads.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, when were you on? Because the Ghoul Scouts covered it, but you weren't on that episode.
Yes, I was.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to it. I don't remember you being on it.
Yeah.
You're in
I literally just
Jackson's
listened
on.
to it today
Yeah.
and you weren't on there. Where were
Hmm.
you on it?
I mean, that was the first one I did with them.
My mind is kind of blown. I'm
Are
confused.
you not thinking about the time we did ginger snaps on the Girl Scouts?
No, that wasn't my first because I did another Girl Scouts episode and it was Jennifer's body. I did Jennifer's body first and then Ginger Snaps.
Okay, because I was listening to it today and you were not on it.
Well, unless they took edited me out, maybe they did. I don't know.
This is
Or
very. Are we living in some sort of weird alternate
yeah, like the
timeline?
Mandela effect or something.
Yeah, because I literally just finished listening to it before we hopped on here. I'm very confused now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in the Twilight Zone now. But no, Jose is an awesome horror movie chick and a huge gamer. And Jackson thought since this is a very female-centric movie that we have to have a lady horror fan to join us. And we haven't had Jose on the show
Yeah.
before. Yeah, so yeah, I thought, yeah, I would love to have her on there. I love her opinions on the Fear God podcast. So yeah, I'm excited for this review. But before we get to that, there's a little bit of tradition we got to keep. Anytime we have a new guest on the October series, I always ask the new guest, is there any like horror media or like music or shows or movies that you like to watch every October to get you kind of in the Halloween mood, Jose?
Um, well, my one of the songs that definitely comes to mind is "Scare Me" by Ludo, and I was actually trying to look up like because I know you're like looking at me like what's Ludo? So I'm trying to think of like what their most popular song would be. Um, because they're not very well known, but also now that I'm thinking about it, I think Jennifer's Body I wasn't on, but I felt like I was like living vicariously through them. So I am crazy because no, I think they might have like asked me to be a part of it and I couldn't for some reason or some I don't
Okay.
know. But because I
We're
remember
solving this mystery in real
I had
time.
like prepped for it or so. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But like I said, teacher brain.
Yeah, you're all good. Well, you get to be on my review of Jennifer's Body.
There you go. There you go. Love Me Dead is by Ludo. I don't
Okay.
That's like probably their most popular song.
I don't
So
know a
some
lot of
people
modern music, to be honest. I'm
they've been around for a while. I don't think I mean they're kind of like indie, but
okay.
and they're originally from St. Louis. Shout
Okay,
out because
cool.
that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, they started around the same era as Jennifer's Body, which is interesting.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, that's
but
still
and
modern
then
music in my book.
yeah, let's see. As far as like fall time movies go, I'm trying to think of something I like. I don't know if I really rotate any movies specifically. Like I know some people are like they always have on Halloween Town or they
Hmm.
always put on like, you know, stuff like that, but
Focus,
I
focus.
yeah, I don't really I kind of just always take that opportunity to watch as many movies as possible. And
Okay.
it's like stuffing stuff I haven't seen more than I have.
Okay.
See,
Um,
that's the way I approach it too. So I get you
Yeah.
there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I try to do a mix between the two. Like I usually
mhm,
start my horror marathon like mid-September, and I always have like my
mhm,
seasonal stuff like Psycho and Great Pumpkin, Hocus
mhm.
Pocus, Halloween, of course. But I just try to watch stuff I haven't seen before, to be honest.
Yeah, I think now more than ever because of like streaming on Twitch and I'm a huge YouTube consumer. I consume a lot
Hmm.
of
Me
YouTube
too, yeah.
content. So as a result of that, I've been watching way less movies. Not because I don't like movies or because I don't want to watch the movies. It's just kind of those things plus teaching and the work that takes, the teaching takes
Right.
Yeah.
outside of actual teaching. It kind of takes up all my time and I wish I could dedicate as much time as I used to because I feel like I definitely used to do that. Like I used to
Hmm.
be like put on the Mummy and that was like my thing I put on and I watched it 50 times or like it's funny that like me and Vera are not the same age but we have a lot of movies. Vera Gowdy, for those who don't know, from the also from Fear God podcast,
Hmm.
she mentioned how The Mask of Zorro is another one that is like a big one for her and I was like why do we have the same like weird movies that like we which that's not a fall movie, but
Right.
that is one that like has a soft spot in my heart and I go back to.
Yeah. That's so funny because we had Vera on last October to review
Uh-huh.
Interview with the Vampire, and she mentioned that Master Zorro is like one of her favorite movies.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's like for whatever reason it just was a thing in my household so much so to the point where in my mom's office, she actually has a replica Mask of Zorro sword that's
Oh
hanging up
wow.
like above the closet doors. Um very random, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, ginger snaps. We were talking when me and Jackson recorded that. We were talking about how that feels like a very fall movie,
Oh yeah.
and if that if I were to begin something being like a fall tradition, that one definitely
Hmm.
would be up there if I
Hmm.
wanted to start doing that again, which maybe I will because
Right.
now I feel like part of it becoming a tradition is it kind of gets ingrained in your brain and you watch it so much you kind of
Hmm.
know it by heart type of thing and I would love Ginger Snaps to be like that for me because I
Right.
do love that movie a lot.
Yeah, that movie's really awesome. Honestly, ever since I watched this movie and absolutely loved it, I've kind of had a little mini war in my head about like which one I like, Ginger Snapped or Jennifer's Body, because I like them for both different reasons. But we'll get to that later in the episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're very similar in so many ways.
Yeah, for
Of
Hmm.
sure.
course, Ginger Snaps did it first, but
Mhm.
maybe Jennifer's Body did it better.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I like Ginger Snaps
I
more,
mean,
but
they're both
but I love
awesome.
this movie too. I love this movie
I think
Yeah.
too.
they cover different. facets of femininity for
Mhm.
sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean they capture like similar themes too, but in
Mhm.
different ways I think as well. Um,
Hmm.
but Ginger Snaps didn't have an awesome emo song by a band called Low Soldier, so yeah,
That is true.
I've been listening to that song a lot, a lot.
Oh gosh.
That song's amazing. I don't
I
normally
feel
like.
like
it's
when I
it's
it's
kind of great.
it's very catchy, but then because after like knowing what happens in the movie, like when you I feel like I have the needy
Right.
reaction, like post trauma when I hear it, where in the beginning, like if it ever comes through, like I sometimes I'll do like the Spotify Magic Shuffle
Mm.
and that song will come up sometimes. And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, this is from, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Like
yeah,
oh,
that's
all those people died in a fire.
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, like
it is
Carrie.
very yeah.
Yeah. Um, I know I mention this every time I ask the music question for October, but my absolute favorite song to listen to in October is Red Right Hand by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Okay.
Yeah, well, for one, I'm a massive Scream fan. That's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's just so freaking creepy, man. Like it's one of the scariest songs I've ever listened
It's a great song for that vibe for
to. Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I live in a medium-sized town here in Arkansas, and driving through downtown area where I live in Conway, listen to that song makes you feel like I'm in Roseboro. I don't know, there's something about that. Like it just gives me that the small town vibe, and Ghostface is like around any corner.
He could be. You never know.
Yeah,
Ghostface is always popping up.
shit, man, that stuff can happen in your real life. That was what was so awesome or so interesting about the Scream movies. Well, it could happen. Like there's not a supernatural element to it, really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that this year at Halloween Horror Nights, Art the Clown is going to be freely roaming the park,
Oh my God,
Yes,
that
stalking people?
I am
no.
big time on horror Twitter, and they have been talking about this for a long time. And so, I'm also on a few like different horror Facebook groups, and they're my Universal one. There was people saying, "Oh my gosh, they should make a like an art like a Terrifier tracker where you can like
Yeah, I
post
saw that post too.
where like sightings are." And I was like, "That is such a smart idea."
Yeah,
Um,
I hope they start doing that with other iconic horror villains like Michael Myers or like Freddy.
They
I
sort of did it with
I
Megan, but
think
they didn't push it as
yeah.
far as they could have.
Well, and I think the difference is I actually I'll have to share the link with y'all. There's a video, a whole video. It was like a deep dive on Art the Clown and Terrifier and stuff, but what they kept discussing and what kind of the theme of the video was like why art has become art like such a thing.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Um and they were kind of like comparing it to um like why is he considered a horror icon so
Mm,
quickly,
right.
Right.
and kind of like comparing it to the other bigs like Freddy and Jason
Mm,
and like all this stuff,
Hmm.
like why does he work and why is it so, but I think a lot of why he's done it so quickly and why it's still so popular even after several movies is because of the just the nature of the character
mm,
himself. He's so
Hmm.
silly, you know? And so
Yeah.
people genuinely like even though he is terrifying, he like people would love like it just sounds like a cool thing to be a part of, even like you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily want to be next to him, but you also would,
right.
because yeah, but as opposed like what would you do if you stood next to like Michael Myers? He just stands there. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it
Right.
doesn't,
Yeah,
But
he
Art's gonna do a bit.
right,
Art kind of
Yeah.
exactly.
fucks with you a little
It's
bit.
just the thought of like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna pull out a horn and honk it in my face? Is he gonna squirt water on me? Like, you don't really know. And I think that's part
Right.
of the
I
mystique
think
and
one of the worst kills in that whole series is when the guy's peeing outside the car and he gets like his crotch stabbed with the knife. I'm like, oh my God. That's a guy. That's just sucks. That's just horrible. But I
I'm
think
sorry I got us on Art the Clown, but
yeah, I
Oh,
know.
it's
you
fine.
talking about like Ghostface could be anywhere. That made me think of what's going on. And also, I'm just really missing the fact that I don't get to go to HHN
Yeah.
these days.
Bro, if they do Scream next year, which I hope they do, me and you gotta go with Eric.
I'll have to make a return trip. Yeah, I don't like not going to HHN. It was my
I
favorite
live,
thing when I lived in
yeah.
Florida.
I was saying how I was living the podcast through
Mm.
them earlier vicariously. That's what I do. I do that with HHN, and I
Yeah,
like to
me
also
too.
lie and tell
We
people I go. Not really,
Jose,
but
you might not know this, but I used to work at HHN.
as like a scare actor.
No, I was a bartender.
Yeah, we
Oh,
actually
really?
went. Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
went up
Sick.
1 year. Like we actually
That's
went together.
did you
Yeah, we got to go together one year because I had a night off and he was going to be in town.
did you
Hmm.
ever work the RIP area
I
or
did. It was awful.
I'm
Nah.
sure it was. So we actually were very blessed. So I don't know I've only been once and it was a few years ago now, but I went to the one in Florida and
Yeah,
we
that's the one I worked at. Yeah.
yeah, and so my husband he got the tickets like way early as like a birthday
Hmm.
gift, I think. And we wanted to make sure like we weren't sure when, if ever, we were going to be able to do this again because theme park tickets are expensive, y'all. It's
Yeah.
like it's like freaking ridiculous.
Because you got to
But
buy your park ticket, and then on top of that, you got to buy your HHN ticket. Like it's
exactly. And
crazy.
one thing I will say, okay, RIP and I know you said you had a bad experience as a bartender, but RIP is very, very worth the price for what you get and the fact that you get to the front of all the lines, you get your own like a special spot at like the show
Yeah.
and you know all the stuff and the buffet and the cups and I don't know, it just all of it felt for me it was worth it, especially for someone who had
Yeah.
only previously gone to like the Six Flags
Yeah.
horror events,
Sure.
which it's no comparison. It really isn't. Like, and now they're trying to get into more IPs. It didn't used to
Mm.
be that way, but now they are having like, when I went to HHN a few years ago, they had a Texas Chainsaw House that was fantastic.
I went to that one. Yeah.
It was amazing, like the raw meat
Yeah.
smell and everything.
Hmm.
Um, but then at Six Flags, I saw that they're going to have a Texas Chainsaw House, and they had a Saw one, I think, last
Hmm.
year or maybe a
Wow.
few years ago. So
Yeah, I've
they're
never
getting
seen
more
that.
into it, but it's just when you watch like the videos of people walking through it, it's like
Yeah.
not on the same level. Still fun, but
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I gotta say, I'm usually pretty jumpy. Like when somebody comes up behind me and scares me, like I will like freak the F out. But
hmm
I was pretty okay with in the houses because
You did very well,
yeah,
but there were still houses you didn't want to go in. Like I
yeah.
could not get him to go in the Exorcist
I
house.
just don't give a shit about that
really,
movie. I
I
try to
feel
watch
like
that.
that one would be pretty tame.
It was a good house.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like again, just like with movies, you like, movies for different reasons and you
Mhm.
get like stuck on certain things. Like when I went, like they had the Beetlejuice house and I was obsessed with that just because of
Yeah, I remember that. That
nostalgia.
was a
Like I
really
felt
good
like
house.
I felt
Oh
like
my
I was
God,
squeeing the whole time.
we gotta talk about the scare zone with the vampires. That scared the fuck out of me. They
This
had
is
a
true. He was not happy going through that. I
yeah,
loved
My
they,
going through
husband
that
is six
because all
foot
the
two and I'm 5 foot and he was trying to hide behind me. And I'm like, they're gonna come after you because they see you doing that shit, right? Like,
yeah, yeah.
duh.
It was the scare zone where it was like the vampires and they attacked the 60s like music festival. And I couldn't tell who was a vampire.
it was
Wait, so they
hard.
were hippie vampires? Was that like,
Yeah.
oh, that's really funny. I love
Yeah,
that.
It was a really fun scare zone.
yeah, so they're in
In a
normal
year where the most of the scare zones were not very good, that was
right.
a real standout. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in like in regular clothes, so I couldn't tell who was a vampire, who was a regular actor, who was an employee, and then who was the
Yeah,
front desk.
because also some people like really dress up when they go to horror
Right.
nights. And so like and they have the rules about how you're not supposed to wear costumes,
Mm,
but they don't really frown upon people wearing makeup and stuff like that. So like
mm.
sometimes
Right.
people go all out when they go and then it's like is that person gonna jump at me? Maybe that adds to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh shit, they're just, they have like a child with them or
Yeah, I wore my
whatever.
Hellfire Club shirt the first night, and then the second night I think I wore my Halloween shirt,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, the one thing that pissed me off about the vampire scare zone was one of the female vampires actually flirted with Jackson, which kind of ticked me off.
This is true.
I'm
He was
like,
jealous. He
you
was jealous.
motherfucker. Yeah, I'm jealous. 'Cause I want to be I want to be a vampire. Vampires are cool, man. But here's the
It's
funny thing.
the overalls and beard, man.
Yeah.
It's a look.
I
I was wearing the overalls that night.
that's
I always wear the overalls. The only
right.
time I didn't wear the overalls to HHN when I would go just as a guest is the time I wore my kilt.
Yeah,
Okay. I bet
So,
that felt nice wearing that too, because I
yeah.
remember like, dude, it wasn't even that hot, like temperature wise. It
no.
was like in the 80s, but
Oh, it's the best time
Florida,
of year in Florida except for
yeah,
the hurricanes.
but I remember I went with like cute, like my alternative clothing, like I usually wear, like my
Mhm.
combat boots and all that stuff. And I'm glad I double packed because I also packed for hot Florida weather and I didn't end up wearing any of my like cuter clothes because I was just like, I'm gonna be uncomfortable. Fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear like so I ended up wearing my like, Nike dry fit shorts and of
Right.
course I had like horror t-shirts and stuff. I think like the night I did the RIP tour, I wore like a shining shirt that had the twins
Mm.
on the back and or
That's cool.
something. But yeah, I
Oh, speaking of the signing twins, there's actually a photo online of Bruce Willis dressed up as the twins with one of his best friends. It's pretty funny.
I am a twin, and my sister and I have
Okay.
never done that. Maybe one day.
Yeah. I want to do Jack Torrance one day. That'll be fun.
That wouldn't be too hard either.
Yeah, just an axe.
Are you balding? Can you grow out your hair?
No. I luckily my dad did not experience male pattern baldness in his middle age, so I'm hoping I don't get there because I refuse to go bald.
Yeah, he had interesting hair in that movie.
Yeah. But anyways, you ready to get to the Jennifer's Body review?
We probably
Yes.
should do that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we want
Been
to do,
going
man.
on about HHN and stuff.
Yeah. All right. So the plot summary for Jennifer's Body, according to the Internet Movie Database, a newly possessed high school cheerleader turns into a succubus who specializes in killing her male classmates. Can her best friend put an end to the horror?
You and me are going out tonight. Wear something cute, okay?
You always do what Jennifer tells you to do.
It's just that I like the same things that she likes.
Hey, Jennifer, you look really pretty.
Why don't you just come by my place? That was random.
This isn't really your house, is it?
We can play mommy and daddy.
No way.
We always share your bed when we have slumber parties.
Jennifer's evil.
I know.
No, I mean, she's actually evil, not high school evil.
All right, so let's go around the room and talk about how we discovered this movie and our quick thoughts before we get into the deep dive. And I'll start with you, Miss Jocee, since you're the guest on this episode. How did you
So,
find out about the movie and what are your quick thoughts?
um, I know that I saw it when it came out, but I saw it like I rented it from
Mhm.
somewhere. I did not see it in theaters. Because at the time, how old would I have been? Probably too young to understand what was going on and some of it the first time I saw it. But I've seen it many times since then. And it's definitely one of like a favorite for me. But yeah, originally it was a rental, and I think it was like just because I didn't know how I'd feel about it. And my only experience prior to that movie was like other big standout films that my mom had like shown me, like Jaws or like, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, the real horror film fanatic hadn't really set in yet. I loved spooky things and Halloween, but like hadn't fully got into that. I think the like religion and stuff kind of had a little bit to do with that, but
Right.
so my mom was careful, and I know that one because of the rating and the fact that the way that it was poorly marketed with Jennifer
Yeah.
and them sexualizing her so much. I think that's probably why my mom didn't really, she never explicitly said, I don't want you to watch that, but I think it was kind of implied like she would rather me be spending my time watching other things. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I kind of, it was one of those, like the opportunity arose. I was hanging out with a friend. We were going to have a sleepover, little girls' night. And like, honestly, what better girls' night could you have than be with one of your other friends who love spooky shit and then watch
Right.
Jennifer's Body? It only makes sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Right.
it was kind of perfect, except
Yeah.
we didn't try to make out or anything. So, like in the movie.
Yeah, I remember the Wolfman remake with Benicio del Toro came out around the same time, and I was starting to get back into the Universal monster movies because watched them when I was younger. And I really wanted to go see that version, and my mom's good to go see it, and she's like, no, that movie's way too gory for Drew. I'm like, Mom, I want to watch it.
That's exactly how you said it too.
Yeah. Jackson, how did you discover this movie?
So I was one of the people that liked this movie before it was cool.
Yep.
And I saw it in the theater. I remember the marketing for it. And of course, me being a guy in their mid-20s, like I was interested in that aspect of it. Who didn't love Megan Fox at that point? She was the hottest thing in the world. But I had also seen Juno, so I knew who Diablo Cody was, and I really loved that movie. And
Mhm.
so even though, sure, Megan Fox is getting you into the theater, but I'm sitting there like really enjoying this story and all this sort of clever dialogue and the portrayal of friendship and the way friendships can fall apart. And so I thought this movie was really rad, and I was really shocked when people didn't like it at the time. But then, of course, years and years later, now everybody likes this movie, and I feel vindicated. I liked it back then,
Yeah,
even.
I think my sister and I were obsessed with Juno, and I think
Hmm.
that might have been the reason why we ended up renting it, even
Mm,
was because we're like, oh, it's like written by the same person.
mm,
And I mean, Juno, for its own reasons, has very specific themes, and um, I think that it was written very well and managed very well. And so,
Hmm.
again, that's something I didn't care as much about then, but I think about a lot now. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I
yeah.
remember hearing a lot more buzz about Juno than Jennifer's Body. Like I just saw
Hmm.
like a few TV
Well,
spots.
she won an Oscar for Juno,
Yeah, it was
Right.
a
and
Yeah.
critical success, and
it was
Jennifer's Body
nominated for a
was,
bunch, and she won for Best Screenplay, and that was her first produced screenplay. So she
Right.
was
yeah,
like real
on
hot
top of the
shit coming
world.
off of that.
And
Yeah,
that's why
and then this is her follow-up.
Mm,
she got a ton of money to make Jennifer's Body, and it
Right.
was a commercial failure because of
Hmm.
how poorly it did.
mm,
But I think a lot of that had to do with um both, which is, I don't know, it's Megan Fox is literally perfect for this role. I think she's
right.
amazing.
Nobody else could have played this
No,
character
Oh, I
and
think
at that time.
yes, and
Yeah.
literally perfect person, but then also because of the way it was marketed to like is very much to sexualize her, which in the
Hmm.
movie they are doing it, but it's like with intention, and
Right.
they're
right.
also showing the other sides of her, like, so it's not just about that, but
Yeah,
it seemed like,
it's not like
yeah,
in Transformers when she's like leaning like on top of a
Or
car.
fixing the car. Yeah, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because
and
like guys like cars and guys like hot chicks, so like that's
yeah,
Right.
hot chick
and
fix their cars.
apparently, yeah, apparently, Megan after this movie, I don't know how long after this movie, but that she had like an actual psychological break
I
and
did
had
hear about that. Yeah.
yeah, and she had to go through like a lot of therapy and shit because basically all just imagine like she's never been a huge person on social media, but all she ever hears or is inundated with is people telling her that she's a terrible person or
Hmm.
that she are just sexualizing her, and that's all she ever hears is people either
Right.
disgusted because she's beautiful, which sounds like some people would say they want to have that, but you do not want to. I don't think anyone wants
Right.
to have that problem, really. um and obviously for her it was horrible because of the way you know she was handled in
Hmm.
that movie, not Jennifer's Body, but in
Transformers.
Yeah.
Transformers. And
Right.
then obviously I think she was on she was on their radar because
Mm.
of Transformers for sure, I think. But like that's not the reason ultimately that they picked her, just because hot girl. Like
Right.
you can tell when she's acting, like this is why they picked her, because
Right.
just the way she is. But
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole that whole part of it is really interesting.
Yeah. So my quick thoughts. This is actually a first time watch for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've been
think.
trying to get you to watch it for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I actually really loved Lisa Frankenstein. I thought that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
her too, right? Diablo Cody
That's also
also.
Diablo Cody. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you with Megan Fox, because not only is she like the archetypal like hot popular chick, her acting style is really good for this. Because this movie
Yeah.
is very campy. It is.
Jose, you have no idea the amount of crow that Drew is having to eat right now because he has gone on this podcast a number of times talking about how he doesn't like Megan Fox as an actress. And I said, Drew, you just have to watch Jennifer's Body.
Because
You will get it
people,
then.
I'm telling you, her other movies, she is stuck in the role,
Mhm.
not because she actually fits that role, but because of how she looks.
Yeah, they just
Right.
want a hot
And
girl. Yeah.
yeah, and they don't care about fixing the way she delivers a line because they're like, oh, just hot, whatever.
Right.
And when in this, it was both directed and written by women.
Right. And
And
I think
they
that was a factor in that.
clearly, yes, they clearly have way more care for her as a person
Mm.
Right.
and trying to make sure they get her right and don't just treat her as an object, even though she
Mhm.
kind of, and again, it's kind of like she's playing with that a little bit
Mm.
in the movie, but it's like because of the way it's written,
Yeah, and
Right.
like as a viewer, it's
yeah.
intentional.
Yeah, and I would think that would be appealing to her because,
It
But
was,
he's
yeah.
taking you seriously. Yeah.
yeah, like
Hmm.
it's like you're coming off of Transformers, you're perceived as, like
Hmm.
I said, the hot chick, but then you're getting a role that kind of plays off that stereotype, and then
Yeah.
you're not just the hot chick in the movie. You get uglied up a little bit. See, there's parts in this movie where she looks kind of disgusting, and that's kind of part of the story, and that's the commentary of this movie.
Right.
But yeah, I will absolutely love this movie. I can't believe I subbed on this movie. I will never question your judgment ever again, Jackson. I will
You
bow.
should have learned that lesson long ago.
Yeah, I will bow down to you, King Jackson, the wise.
What I'm learning is if you don't listen to Jackson when he tells you to watch a movie, you're just wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. Okay.
So I haven't seen this movie yet, but we took a Memphis trip, and he sold me on Steven Spielberg's Munich, because he knows I love 70s like crime movies, and
I
Hmm.
that
just couldn't believe you hadn't seen it before because it
yeah,
seems like it's right up your alley. But yeah.
yeah, Spielberg. It's a crime 70s thriller kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So.
I'm gonna check that out at some point soon. Yeah, but yeah, this movie's amazing. Very, very much a mix between like Carrie and like Breakfast Club, I would say, because
Yeah, I
the
can see
cri-
that. Yeah.
yeah, I have the criterion for Breakfast Club, and Diablo Cody's on one of the documentaries, and she talked about like
Hmm.
how that movie was a huge influence on her with all.
I mean, yeah, it's all over. Even her other movies, like her more adult movies,
Mm,
young adult, Tully, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think
they
that
still got that John
influences.
Hughes kind of
Yeah,
influence.
yeah, especially with like the quips.
Mm,
Right.
Like the quip, because John Hughes films are very quippy. They have lines
Hmm.
that like are
mm,
very memorable that it's like just gets stuck.
right.
And this movie has so many of
This
them.
movie is almost the whole script is that line.
Yeah, and most of them are coming from Jennifer, not all, but I
Mm,
Yeah.
literally a lot of my notes are just funny shit that
right.
has come out. Like, and every time I was telling my husband this before we started recording, like every time I watch it, there's something new that I catch.
Sure.
Like, I completely forgot about when her and Needy meet in the hallway in the beginning in the hall at school, and she goes, "Hey, Monostat," and they go, "What's up, Vagisil?" I completely forgot that happened, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Dang, that's really funny." And like again, when I first saw it when I was a when I was a kid, I would not have really understood what that meant. And,
Yeah.
you know, now as a 30 something, 31 technically now, um, it's like you learn life
Yeah.
happens. But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So let's get into the deep dive. Um,
Okay.
I was generally shocked how this movie just like starts. They show like the 20th century Fox logo, and then it cuts to like Jennifer's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, like they usually show a few logos at the beginning of the movie.
And you get maybe the greatest opening line in the history of cinema.
Yes, one of
Elle
them.
is a teenage girl.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that so much. I don't know
Hmm.
why.
Yeah,
Like it's a very like everybody's done a variation on that line. Hell is this, but Hell as a teenage girl is truly special, I think. And
Hmm.
the movie lives up to that promise, I believe.
Absolutely.
yeah. It's just like this movie and Ginger Snap is basically like what it's like to be a teenage girl, escalated like to 1,000. It's like, what if this horrible, and horror's always been like that. It's like, what if this horrible thing happened to me? That's what
Right.
horror is essentially. That's the appeal of horror, or one of the appeal of horrors.
I think the movie did a great job of kind of sucking you in because every time I watch it, I forget that the beginning tells you what like starts with the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
forgot
Yeah.
and throughout the process of watching the movie, I forget that that's where she is going
Right.
because, of what happens, but like even I wrote a note down about forgetting how when she was thrown in solitary through the trees starts playing
Yeah, on the little
and she's like, "Oh
Muzak
my God, I
thing. Yeah.
hate this song." And when you first watch that, you're like, "Why is she so bothered by this?" And of course, you find out why. But
Right.
Yeah.
going back and rewatch, you're like, "Oh my gosh, no wonder she's so angry."
Right. Yeah, I didn't notice that someone's in that beginning scene. That's kind of crazy.
It's not the actual song. It's like a Muzak. You know what Muzak is?
Yeah.
Like the like elevator music. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
a,
like a
a version
version
like
of it,
that.
but it's definitely, yeah. I
It's
was
very
like,
cheesy sounding.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Um, Before we get any further, let's not forget the fact that Jane Jonah Jameson and Star-Lord are in this freaking movie. That's
I
incredible.
wrote that. I wrote where did I write that? It said random Chris Pratt? Question
Yes.
mark, question mark, question
This
mark.
was that
I
time
forgot.
where like he was just starting to get popular
Popping
because
in stuff,
he had
yeah.
been on like the OC for like the last season of that, and I guess Parks and Rec started this same year as
Mm.
this movie.
Yeah, so he in this movie
So,
plays Roman, the police academy. Not he
right.
hasn't graduated. He's still in police academy, but he's literally just a fuck boy and
Yeah.
is there for um Jennifer to smash, and she just walks right up to him and grabs his ghibli bits. I don't know.
Jose, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never would have thought that term would be used in this podcast, but I'm okay with it.
Ghibli bits.
I'm kind of like, here's the thing. I'm gonna be real with y'all. So you said at the top, I've been on Reed's podcast.
Mm,
I'm always like, if you see my Twitch stream, if anyone ever sees my Twitch stream, they're gonna be shocked because my mouth is really bad. Okay. So
right,
Yeah.
I try to withhold that a little bit. I'm trying my
right.
best, but it's
No,
like,
you're in good company because
I,
both of us are like that too.
I
Yeah.
know this is a different space, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to be also aware that it's like maybe people don't want to hear you say that.
No, it's totally fine. I'm like,
This is way more freewheeling about that kind of stuff than
yeah,
the fear of God.
yeah. Honestly, I'm like that with Reed. Like when I'm on his podcast or when he's a guest on mine, I try to like keep the cursing down to a minimum. Um, but yeah, I did that. That was funny. You just randomly used that. That was
Yeah, it was like I don't know. It popped in my head. But yeah, Chris Pratt, and then you mentioned J. Jonah Jameson, which is
J.K.
oh shoot,
Simmons.
what's yeah, J.K. Simmons, and he also there's little things that are never addressed, but also add to the kitschiness and the fun of the movie. Like
Yes.
he doesn't have a hand,
He's like got a
Right.
hook.
just cause,
He's you
just
remember
cause.
like Jose, you were talking about how you always forget how the movie starts. I always forget J.K. Simmons is in this movie.
Yeah.
But it
Well,
makes
and
sense because
then
he was in Juno, and so
my
yeah.
favorite line from him, and he's so sweet, and I mean, he's just amazing in
I
general.
love this
Such a sweet
character.
guy.
He's so
But
great.
yeah, whenever Jonas is getting killed in the woods by Jennifer, and he goes out to his car from school, obviously late, as teachers do, and
Mm.
he hears him screaming bloody fucking murder in the forest, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Ugh, let it all out,
But
kids."
my favorite of his lines is when he's like, and we don't need to worry about who's a cool dude or who's a hoe.
Yeah.
You know what that reminded me? You bring that. Do you know what that reminded me of going back to John Hughes is when
In Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
yeah
Okay.
Rooney when the
Yeah.
That's exactly what
secretary
I thought of
yeah
too.
when the
Yeah.
secretary is talking about all the
Yeah.
nicknames that that
Yeah, the dweebs, the dickheads, you know.
the sluts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny considering who's saying it, like the sweet like
Right.
married woman. Uh,
Hmm.
I fucking love that movie. That's my favorite comedy of all time.
Uh, Ferris Bueller, it's
Yeah.
understandable. It's a classic.
Yeah, my favorite line, and I actually have a horror logbook, and you get to log all the horror movies you watch, and there's like a section where it's like memorable lines. I wrote this one down. It's I'm having the best day ever since Jesus invented the calendar.
I thought that was funny too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
have
don't know why that makes it like that makes no sense, but it was just so funny.
just out of curiosity, did you get that book from Etsy?
No, I got it from a horror pack.
Okay,
Like a horror box.
I have something very similar to that, but since somebody turned me on to Letterboxd, I kind of haven't been doing the notebook as much. I need to go back to it,
Yeah,
but
Letterbox is so much easier.
yeah. Well, but Letterboxd, I'm not like logging my notes. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Letterbox is nice for like just a basic review, but then the little notebook where I write like my note, like that's my horror notebook where you log your movies and stuff doesn't have enough space. Like I have multiple pages when it comes to like podcast stuff
Oh wow.
that I need to write. Well, I don't need to write. Let's just be clear. I just do. But like write just like little note like usually I don't like it's not like I'm writing the whole movie out, but it's more so just like little things that I notice or a lot of lines or stuff that a lot of it is because I have like ADHD and I'm afraid I'm going to forget.
Right.
Like when it comes to like people's names or like the name of the city being called like Devil's Kettle, like I wrote that down so I
Right.
wouldn't forget. I don't know, little stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a perfect name for a horror movie town is Devil's Kennel.
Really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, what I also the other thing, and this is probably messed up to say, but I liked how they played off the whole thing that unfortunately happened in real life, where a young person goes off with somebody, thinking it's an innocent thing, and then something really bad happens.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like how they played off of that thing, and then the fact that like this indie rock band is doing it to sell their soul to be famous, I thought was pretty hysterical.
They're doing it at Devil's Lake.
Yeah.
Is what they said in the bar.
Yeah, that's what he says. He calls it
They
Devil's
said
Lake.
Devil's Lake, and he goes, "It's Devil's Kettle."
And then Adam Brody, like I think like
I love Adam
well,
Brody.
He did a really good job
I'm a
too.
big OC person from back in the
yeah,
day,
well
and
obviously
so
yeah, well
yeah.
obviously Megan Fox, as we discussed, is like the MVP of this movie. But I
Hmm.
think Adam Brody is like the X Factor. I think.
He kind of is because, you can say that Jennifer is the villain of the movie, but
Mhm.
she's not really
Not the
because
real villain,
No.
no.
no,
Yeah.
he's the villain of the
And he
movie.
does, yeah, he does a
Yeah.
really good job of just being a complete and utter tool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's such a freaking tool.
Hmm.
And even down to like he stopped mid-stab because he was reminded of
Song Jenny.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
yeah, Jenny, and then
Yeah.
literally stabbing her while singing 8675309.
Yeah, what was
Like
I
they're
funny
all
about
like
know.
tuning in.
well, what was funny about that was he kept saying Jenny Jenny like like because the song does that, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's kind of cute, he's using the pet name for Jennifer, but then he keeps singing along, and I'm like, no, he's singing the song. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, Diablo Cody, I freaking love you. You're the best.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I know we're kind of like jumping around a little bit, but
We always do
right
that. Don't worry
right
about it.
no, it's okay. That's how my mind works anyways.
Yeah.
My like I said, ADHD. When right before that happens and they get her in the van, so this is actually later in the movie where they do a flashback because Jennifer actually like just reveals all to Needy basically and tells her what truly happened that night or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
But she um in the van is, just kind of out of it, and you can tell she's really upset, and she starts to finally like come to and realize. And I actually wrote a note like because before when they were coming out of the fire, and one could say it's just trauma, like a trauma reaction, but
Hmm.
part of me was like, maybe this is part of the supernatural effect of them being satanic worshipers or whatever, is that she seemed like weirdly transfixed to him, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's almost
not in a
hypnotized.
normal
Yeah.
way. And to the point where because Needy saved her, pulled her out, and then she literally wasn't even speaking. And
Hmm.
she just took her hand
Hmm.
and she just started walking. And then finally she said some words, but that whole time she was just staring off and looked very odd. Whereas before she was very talkative and just kind of da da da, And yeah, like I wrote down like she seems like transfixed, like under a spell almost. And
Maybe
then
with the
once she
music.
yeah, maybe it was the music, that would make
Yeah, when
sense.
that's playing off the, I'm really obsessed with like the Satanic Panic of the '80s. Maybe playing off
Hmm.
of that kind of thing, where like people
Right.
thinking like, oh, if you listen to like Slayer or whatever, like,
Hmm.
you're
Sure.
gonna get hypnotized, like work to the devil or some shit like that. I
Yeah.
think it's
I also
playing off of
speaking
that kind of
speaking
thing.
of the music, if you look up the lyrics of Through the Trees, they're actually here, I'm gonna pull it up so we can talk about it because
Yeah.
I find this interesting.
I
So
love this song. I think it's
so
so good.
it's a good song, but I want to talk about it because like it
Yeah.
becomes like they I think at one point J.K. Simmons' character, the teacher, he's like, this is our unofficial anthem, and everyone's
Hmm.
like holding their little candles at the vigil through the
Right.
trees. And but then when Needy and Jennifer hear it, no wonder they're upset because like the freaking lyrics. It's like all alone in an
Yeah.
empty room, nothing left but the memories of when I had my best friend. Needy literally lost her best friend because of this.
Right.
Right.
Like and then, they're saying through the trees, I will find you. She got killed in a forest.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like,
A
so
lot of
it's
forest
probably,
stuff in this movie.
yeah, extremely triggering for them. So
Yeah,
no
so
Yeah.
wonder.
that probably supports my theory on like they're just casting a spell on Jennifer with this song.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
got to be something like that because how does the fire start? It
Right.
just starts. Like there's just all of a sudden there's a fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
It,
actually went back because I was like, did I miss how that's like started. Nope, it just
Oh, you,
begins.
you
It
didn't know
just
Jack?
starts, yeah.
You didn't know Jackson? There's actually a deleted scene where Carrie White appears in this scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they decided to cut it out because the director thought it was just
The
random.
ultimate crossover.
Dude, that'd be sick, man. A Jennifer's Body Carrie crossover.
You are always talking about crossovers, and I always have to tell you why it's a bad idea.
Okay, well, I don't give a fuck about your opinion, honestly. No, I care about your opinion, for the most part, but when it comes to crossovers, I don't care.
I
I'm gonna
know.
check my yum on that one.
Let a man live.
Yeah. Speaking of the indie band, I absolutely loved the end credit. That's probably one of the best end credits.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Yeah, because not too many cr credit scenes like continue the movie. Like the only ones I can think of is like Ghostbusters and the Martian, the Ridley Scott movie.
Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead
Oh, that's right.
does a
Yeah.
similar type of thing. I know there are other. Well, you got like The Hangover.
Mm,
The first Hangover. It
Yeah,
doesn't really
that's true.
continue the movies, but it shows you a lot of stuff that you didn't
Happened
actually
during that you
see.
missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and then Ghostbusters and Martian does something really unique. Where do you know like how in some movies how like they'll show like the actor's name and then they show like a clip from the movie with that
Right.
character? Ghostbusters will continue the movie, like or the story, and do the character name or the actor name, like within that scene that's continuing the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in Ghostbusters when they're walking out the building, the Gosher building, like
Been
they,
so long since I've watched Ghostbusters.
yeah,
I don't remember this scene.
yeah,
I
like not
used to
now,
watch that a lot, but not I don't
yeah.
know.
That was my first DVD that I ever watched. Yeah, I was impressed. Like I didn't know you can like skip like scenes.
I think the first movie I ever saw on DVD was Scream.
Oh really? That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Good
first one.
one.
I don't remember.
Really?
No.
It was
Well,
a
because I
big deal to go watch Scream on DVD.
right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a little younger than y'all, so
You're the same age as Drew.
Yeah, I'm 31.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, because I feel like I was
I'm
at an
old.
age when
Yeah.
I was at an age when DVDs were like, I don't know. Like, because I don't know. But I'm also not the most nostalgic person. Like, I don't know. I feel like some people can really like remember really well like specific
Right.
Mm,
memory like and I just don't.
right.
I don't know. Um
Let's
yeah, I
see.
don't remember the
Yeah.
first DVD.
But yeah, this is one of the best. Like in like or not. It's not technically an end credit scene, but what would you call? You would call it a scene within the
It's
credits.
an epilogue.
And yeah, an epilogue. Yeah, it's the best
Yeah.
epilogue I've ever seen. It's pretty amazing. Like you basically see this band go into this hotel room, and Jennifer just fucking wreck stops on them.
Needy.
Oh, Needy, that's right. 'Cause, yeah,
Yeah.
as Jennifer's dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was clever. A way to do that.
Well, because in the movie you're like, well, is it really gonna end like that? Where she's just gonna
Yeah.
get framed for this
Mm,
murder, and then thankfully, not only does you get like where it goes back to the beginning
mm,
again, where that's how she ended up in the asylum or whatever,
right.
Hmm.
and then then they do the reveal where, like you said,
Mm,
with the credits, where she goes and she kills all of the members of Low Shoulder, and it's like, yeah, because you
Yeah.
want them to fucking die. You do. Like
right.
after what happens and how freaking evil, like because it was already bad enough that they go kidnap
Mm,
Jennifer, and you already are thinking one thing when that happens, um and then afterwards you realize, like, I mean, not that a satanic sacrifice slash ritual is better than sexual assault, but like not great either
right.
one. But
But
you
it
know,
is very coded to be something like that.
Mm,
correct.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
So
what
then
horror does so well, is it
exact
It takes
Yeah,
something and substitutes it for something more real.
right, right. Well, because
Yeah,
she even says in the van, like, are y'all are you rapist or something? And then I don't remember what their response was to that, but they might have just ignored her and kept talking because they
they
were,
do. They pretty much ignore her.
yeah,
And I think what she's saying is she's like, I'm a virgin. You don't want me. You want some girl that's
yeah,
has
not
experience.
realizing because
Yeah.
and Needy was kind of and I think part, this is something everybody goes through, like when you say something, not realizing that may later cause something else, which it's
Right.
not Needy's fault. Like they were going to do something. But like everyone has a moment where like if I hadn't have said that, this would have never
Hmm.
happened. You know what I mean? But like
Right.
I feel like regardless of whether she made that comment
Mm.
about Jennifer being a virgin or not,
Yeah.
they would have tried to talk to them more. And I bet you like because they would have if they would have asked the pair of them, then Jennifer might have lied and said yes and just ended up going with him anyway. Who's to say? But
Yeah.
that's probably why part of why Needy felt so awful about what
Mm.
happened initially, because she kind of, took a little blame
Yeah.
for that.
And I think it's so funny how this band is like this super, teenage girl indie pop rock band, like emo,
Hmm.
and they're selling their soul for the devil. Because normally you associate,
It's like
like,
metal guys or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
like Slayer,
And this
Priest,
is like Death Cab
and
for Cutie, basically, being a
Well, and there
satanic cult.
another so I said that the lead singer is a total tool, right?
mm,
And another reason he's a total tool is because they're just total fucking fakes all the way around. Because
right,
like what
Right.
kind of alternative emo singer says, "You want to be like Adam Levine? This is how you're
Yeah.
gonna do it." You're like if you try to act like you're alt emo and you're like saint, your person you want to
mm,
fucking be that you're sacrificing a person for is Adam Levine from Maroon 5.
right,
Yeah.
No.
yeah,
So like yeah, they're just total fakes all the way. Like all they care about is the money.
mm,
And that I mean
Right.
that's why I mean again, it's part for the movie, like for a reason. They're evil,
right.
but again, it's just yeah, there's so much that adds to it.
Right,
Hmm.
and that's what's so genius about them being this pop indie band is because the song is Cassie.
Yeah.
So that's how they get
Hmm.
their victims essentially, or that's how they get Jennifer by making like this cute, like
Hmm.
indie pop song that's gonna appeal to teenage girls.
We keep talking about this one scene, but I think this scene unlocks a lot of the movie.
Hmm.
I was watching it last night, and when, they're both standing there listening to the song, and Jennifer's so transfixed, and Needy just is looking at Jennifer, and
Mm,
like they're
Hmm.
holding hands, and then you start to see sort of Needy's face fall, and she lets go of Jennifer's hand. You see like the white marks where she'd been holding onto her so
ah,
close.
Hmm.
And I got really emotional watching that. And then it culminates with, I think, a truly haunting shot in this movie is when Jennifer gets in the van and then you're in Needy's POV and you just see the van door close.
yeah,
Yeah.
And this is the last time she's ever actually going to see her friend because what
Hmm.
comes back is not her friend
oh yeah,
anymore.
yeah for sure. Yeah,
Hmm.
And it's I got really I got really
Well,
emotional over this,
yeah.
and it's Jennifer's
I
body
think
like
I really connected to it because I've been, I mean, as a woman myself, but then also going through life, like as a woman, there's so many things and like your ways you feel you have to present yourself. And, there's the male gaze and there's all
mm,
these different things that the movie is also addressing. But, um, when Needy, you know, throughout the movie, I think she slowly, besides coming to the realization, like, oh, my friend's a succubus, she just, oh, um, she also is kind of uh, in her own mind, she's kind of going back and rethinking about what's the word I'm looking for? She's kind of like taking apart her childhood and
Right.
like coming to a lot of realizations like, you know what? You actually were a shit friend. You never were a good friend.
Right.
And like, I love that about this movie too, is that it's not just like they're besties and that's it. And she turned
Hmm.
evil. It's a lot more nuanced than that. It's
Hmm.
like, you know, they were friends and they did everything and they've been together since they were very young, even. But the whole
Sandbox love never
time,
dies.
yeah. But Jennifer, the whole time, Jennifer has been shitty to her, just
Right.
in various ways. But it
Very
took
passive aggressive ways. Yeah.
exactly, and it took this major event for her to come to the realization, like, oh my God, like you're actually a terrible person. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes that happens to us as people. Like
Hmm.
we have friendships that we hold dear because, you know, maybe they are always at a family, like part of the family where they come to your family events and stuff like that. And for that reason, they're
Hmm.
kind of just always with you. Or maybe they were just in your friend group, so they always get invited. Or you know, or someone you were very close with in school and you just continued to speak with them even though, you know, you're not necessarily close, but you just kind of feel like an obligation to check in on them. And then as adults and the older we get, we kind of realize like, and I'm a firm believer that family can be chosen. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but
No, I
like,
agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think once I started to kind of, you know, do my own therapy and like talk, like kind of be more open about things, I started kind of realizing that too. Like, you know what, this relationship, whether it's a friend or family, like is not healthy and kind of removing yourself. But sometimes it takes like something traumatic to happen before you go, oh, I need to make changes or I need to do, you
Mm.
know, it's unfortunate that for her friend it was becoming a demon, but
Right.
you know, I think that that's very real. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's what
definitely a very real
yeah,
thing.
and that's what made this movie like so awesome for me because I this in my mind I thought it would just some goofy high school horror movie, but no,
And it
it's
definitely is that too.
yeah, it's in parts, but it's deeper. It's a lot deeper.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, than I ever thought it could have been. Um, this movie's all kinds of amazing. The pool scene is pretty cool.
That's like something out of a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the
My
production design, like all the vines, and I
Mm.
love that.
Yeah, even down to like I like her their choice for the dresses for them both. And cuz I think that dress is not something that I think Jennifer would have actually worn to the dance. But
No,
again, she did not go to the dance either. So
right,
it's hard to say why they that I think that dress was literally just chosen because it looks cool when it's bloody and wet, which
right.
valid, honestly. But Needy specifically, I thought was really, really cute how it was her mom, like most definitely her mom's dress from like the
Right.
80s or
So
something.
80s, yeah.
And they did up her hair and makeup was like so extra and very 80s. And her mom was even taking pictures with her. It was so cute. But we were talking about little details, right, that make this movie like um Chip. Okay, we haven't really talked. We need some Chip
We
love.
haven't
Okay,
talked about
Chip,
any of the
Chip.
guys in this
Listen, Chip,
movie.
Yeah.
Chip love in the chat. Okay, but Chip,
Yeah.
freaking Chip is the best boyfriend. He's
Oh, that's
He's
good.
great. He's
so
so,
fucking wholesome, so amazing at every
yeah.
turn almost in the movie. He is checking on her. Even when he got the
Yes.
fucking condom, he was like, "Yeah, they said like she's like something something swirl," and he was like, "Yeah, I think it's supposed to be good for the girl." I was like, "Oh my God, when is he not thinking about her? He's
So
literally perfect."
so I
Like
wrote in my notes that it makes me so happy when characters use condoms in movies and TV. So, cause I'm
that.
thinking, yeah, well, I'm thinking, cause like, what if like an impressionable kid watches
Right, yeah.
this and like they just see two characters
Yeah,
go
it's
at
like,
it
look at
without
this cute
protection?
couple, safe sex. We love to see it.
Yeah, well, the opposite of that. Like, what if an impressionable kid sees like two characters go at it and they're not using any protection? Is like, well, I can use that without any consequences, and then Yeah, so yeah, I think characters should always try to use condoms and
Yeah. But yeah, he was very supportive of
Hmm.
right.
Needy throughout the entire movie. And the only reason he turned on her at the like or try ended up kissing Jennifer was because Jennifer had to lie and
Right.
use the only thing that he was a little bit like concerned about, which was the fact that Needy talks to
Mhm.
freaking Colin, who, by the way, Kyle Gallner,
I love him
Yeah, I
so
was gonna bring him
much.
up.
He's one of my favorite guys
him
in the genre.
so he looking at him now, which
He
smoke
is
he's
he's
his own
very different now.
he smoke he's very attractive. He's just
He is, yes.
he's a cutie
Yeah.
patootie. He
What was
was
the movie
then
Strange Darling? Oh my God.
Still
yes, oh
need
my
to see
god.
that.
So
I still need to see that.
yeah, so
It's good. Yeah.
he was then and he is now, but it's funny because he has the same treatment as like if you see those gifs of Pedro Pascal and the guy who played Shaggy. What's his
Matt Lillard,
yes,
love
those
that guy.
from the movies that they were in back in the day or shows where they had like the fake piercings and stuff. He had that whole treatment for this movie, right?
Yeah.
And so he's almost unrecognizable. Like I kind of forgot that he like there's several people in this movie where I'm like, dang, which it's unfortunate the Chip I don't know if Chip ever went on to do anything major,
I,
did he?
I know I've
I don't
seen
even
him in
know the
other
actor's
stuff,
name.
but I don't know his name either. I know I've seen him in other stuff, but I can't think
Yeah.
of what.
Mm,
But
I don't know. He probably was one of those Maze Runner guys.
I imagine so.
Seems like the
probably.
right era for that.
But no, yeah, he was great. And yeah, we were talking about the pool scene, so we that's why we brought him up, but like she's, Needy dives in to save Chip even though he's kind of I think we know at this point he's already dead because she bit
Right.
him in the neck and it was bleeding all over. Like I think that's kind
Right.
of whatever. But he I don't remember who points out the fact that she is flying. Is it Chip who points it out? I can't
He
remember.
says that
I
she's
think he
flying,
and
and
he
then
goes, she's just
Needy is like,
hovering.
"Ah,
It's
she's
not
just
that
hovering."
impressive. Yeah, she goes, she's just hovering. It's not that impressive. Which is funny because at the end she ends up being able to hover as well.
Right. But I
Which I
also
thought,
like Jennifer's comeback there. She's like, "Why are you always undermining everything I do?"
yes,
It's just such a
yeah,
catty,
yeah.
like frenemy kind of line.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that felt very Guillermo del Toro. I was more
Just
thinking
the
like,
set design, yeah.
The
yeah,
fact that it was dark, ooky, spooky, dirty, and
Mm.
viney.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think
The,
about that. I was thinking more like Evil Dead. When
Sure,
I can kind of see that,
that
Yeah,
tracks too.
yeah,
especially with
Particularly
the
the more
vomit,
recent ones.
yeah,
the
yeah.
vomit specifically.
Before we get off Chip completely, I do want to say he has my favorite line in the whole movie.
Who, Chip?
Yeah,
What am I
where
too big?
no, that's good too though. But like when
I love that
Needy's
one.
when Needy's getting dressed for the show and he's like, I can see your front butt. And she goes, no, it's a rock show. This is my rock look. And he goes, yeah, well, I can see like your womb. So
Yeah, it felt
that's so funny to me.
the dialogue I think was very I thought it was very real. And I think with Jennifer's it's a little less realistic, but I think again she's kind of being fake. So
Right.
she's trying very hard because I think later like it shows very much her actual like real insecurity
Right.
and stuff like that. So a lot of her lines make sense because she's like kind of being a try hard.
Like the
and
Thai
so-
food line.
Yeah, well, and she makes a lot of. There's a few lines in here that are a little insensitive. Like they definitely would not be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
But she makes a lot of insensitive comments
She
throughout
really
the
does,
movie. And
yes.
and again, this time it's been a while since the last time I saw it, and I was like, oh, like they
Yeah.
say the R
But
slur
that's
in various
believable.
forms
That's kids.
Yeah.
for
That's
that.
how
Well,
teenagers.
for that time, that was a thing.
Yeah, I guess it's probably
So,
different now, but
Yeah, but like because that's like at the same time like Mind and Mencia was doing the dirt jokes and like
sure.
that
Yeah.
that was a thing like people used it, not that it was okay, but it's just
When
a
I mean,
product
I'm
of the
older
time.
than y'all, but like when I was a kid, like saying stuff like that was no big deal. Like it just wasn't a big deal.
Right. Right.
And like the other big one at the time was like anything that sucked, he would just call it gay.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
there's
was just
that.
gonna
That was a
say,
big one. Yeah.
yeah,
And
again,
now
something.
like we know better, but at the time we didn't know any better. It
Yeah,
was just the way people talked.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite lines, I totally forgot about this, it's going back a ways in the movie, is when they're at the bar and Jennifer's telling Needy how to be attracted to the guys and she's referring to her booze and they call them smart bombs. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I wrote that down. These things are, what does she say? These things are smart bombs and something about, hold on. Yeah, these are like smart bombs. Okay, you point them in the right direction and shit gets real. That's what she said. Yeah, which honestly, very fair. That is
Right.
100% accurate. As a female with chest, can confirm. Can confirm. Um,
So there's this book, I can't remember who wrote it. It's called How to Survive a Horror Movie, and it breaks it every chapter to different subgenre.
is tits one of
Uh-huh.
them?
No, it's
Damn.
That's what'll get you killed
well,
in like
okay,
80s horror movies.
Yeah, because
so
they're
so one of the
sounds
subgenres
like
is
airplane
slashers.
like. I don't know.
So one of the subgenres is slashers, and there's a whole section about how boobs are like detectors for like serial killers in slasher movies. And there's like and then
Uh,
this guy just goes on this rant like, yeah, you gotta cover them up, you can't take a shower, you gotta wear a sweater. I'm like, that's a little misogynistic. That's kind of true in a lot of 80s
I
slashers.
it
mean,
is. Tits
the
are
first
important.
the first scary movie does this joke kind of perfectly
Yeah.
where it's Carmen Electra as the Drew Barrymore character and he stabs her in the boob and when he pulls out the knife it's got an implant stuck on the end of it.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my gosh.
I really do need to
Um,
watch those
So
movies
yeah,
since I'm doing it
yeah,
because I'm doing my
it's
own
that'd be
not that
research.
funny.
good, but it's got some funny stuff here and there.
That'd be
Yeah.
funny if she said my tit, but she
Right.
didn't. That
That
was
would
in
have
this
predated it,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually working on a Scream fan film right now, so I need to watch those scary movies.
Well, just
I
the first one's the only one that really does scream. The other ones go off into other types of horror
the one
movies.
I think the one that really it's so I mean they're all really stupid, but Scary Movie 3 is the one that like stuck with me the most. I don't know if it's because at the time I saw it at a time where I'd actually seen all of the movies that it was making fun of too.
Okay.
And that made like a big difference for me. But back to
Yeah. Well,
Jennifer's
real
body
quick.
stuff. I was trying to
Oh,
oh sorry, what were you gonna say?
so real quick, it's funny because we're talking about scary movie and how the first one makes fun of Scream. Scream kind of makes
Mm-hmm.
fun of the boob trope in this
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
With,
it
like,
definitely
flashes
does.
Billy. Like, can you
Mm-hmm.
sell it for a PG-13 relationship, and then she flashes him, and then you don't see? Because this movie don't have any nudity at all. Like, there's no straight up nudity in any of the Screams.
No.
But I think
I
it's
don't
good.
remember. I haven't seen
Yeah,
all of
it's
them, but
tasteful.
um
Yeah, so I like that. Like they didn't have to resort to that. You could just make an awesome slasher movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of, I know we want to give Chip some more love here. I had wrote down that I really um love the contrast in the way they chose to not do the scene with Chip and Needy and then the scene with Jennifer or
Yeah.
vice versa. They did it like at the same time kind of
That's a
i
great
I
choice.
loved the contrast
Hmm.
between the love and relationship between Needy and just the pure joy that they were having. Like clearly they love each other so
Right.
much and
Right.
they like smiles on their faces. And then going over to Kyle Gallner's character Colin, I think Colin, and Jennifer, and he's terrified, and she's like lying to him
Hmm.
to kind of coax him into like being there. And he was the only person who truly like he tried to get away before he was like
Yeah.
mutilated, and that clearly
Yeah, he
didn't
was he was
work.
smart.
But
He was definitely smart. He's like, yeah, having sex with this hot chick, it's not worth it anymore.
well, yeah, you could kind of tell, even though he wasn't saying it out loud, he
Hmm.
was like, this isn't right. This isn't right. This is like his head was
Right.
probably telling him like
Yeah.
no.
Um.
And as someone who, but also can we shout out to frickin' Colin? What a what like if this happened to me, I would be like, yes, I will date you. Can we get married now? Being invited on a first date to a showing of Rocky Horror at an old theater. Are you kidding me? That is the best date ever. That
I've
is
never seen
so
Rocky Horror.
fun.
Confessing, I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know some of the music. I just never seen the movie.
I have seen
Whoa.
it and I didn't like it really. I would probably like it better now, but at the time I don't think I
It's
was in
very
the
okay.
right
I
headspace for
think
it.
I understand why it's an important film.
Yeah.
Right.
I like a lot of the actors that are in it. Um, I don't have the same. I think a lot of the reason why people like it is a certain nostalgia, like for
Mm.
watching it when they were younger, and I didn't watch it until I was much older. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like stick to it as much as I have with some other movies with
Yeah.
similar themes, like Kinky Boots. I'm obsessed with that movie.
Right.
But yeah, I
Oh, that was a
didn't.
movie? I knew it was like a stage musical. I didn't
It
know
was a
that.
movie first, and
Really?
then they made the
Okay.
musical. Yeah, the movie's what She Would Tell Edgeo for, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I love
Okay.
it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it so much.
Um,
I've actually never seen it, but I probably should watch it. It seems like it's right up my alley.
yeah. So funny story about Rocky Horror Picture Show, even though I've never seen it. Me and my other co-host, you haven't met him yet, Jose. Eric, we were in Spirit Halloween before we went to go see Halloween Ends. We're just kind of hanging out, and he asked me what I was going to be for Halloween that year, and I said Rocky, as in Rocky Balboa, but he thought I meant Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Oh, that's funny.
and I'm like, dude, I don't got those kind of
Well, to be
legs.
fair, Tim Curry does not play Rocky. He plays Frankenfurter.
Okay,
Rocky's a
well,
different
Mm,
character.
yeah.
I guess in his mind,
Sorry, I have to
that
put on my new
Rocky,
movie nerd hat here.
yeah, like I think in his head,
Actually.
Yeah.
I think in his head he thought I meant the next thing I was gonna say was horror picture show, the big
Yeah,
character.
sure.
Hmm.
Going back to Chip real quick, I see this character, and I've been single all my life. I've never had a girlfriend, but I see this character, and like that's how I want to treat my girl, my lady. Is like, and always checking up on her, always thinking about her feelings. Cause you know what, I was raised by my mom, and my mom, like taught me to be a feminist, and see things through a woman's point of view, and not just
Hmm.
my point of view. So yeah, I just want to say
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah, I mean,
that.
just on both sides, even as a woman,
Mhm.
I mean, you should be thinking about, I mean, it doesn't matter any orientation. You should just be thinking about
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
partner and how they would, yeah, like how they would feel. And I think it's
Yeah.
important to realize your own feelings are important too,
Mhm.
because I think in some regards, like because if you get too far into the treating a woman a certain way, you start getting a little red pilled on the opposite end of it.
Right.
Like then you
Yeah.
Right.
start getting into like trad femmes and
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like stuff like that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
Not really.
I certainly do.
like trad house, a
I think
traditional
about those
housewife.
type of
Yeah.
people like more than
Mhm.
I should, and I read and
Well, they
listen to a
come
lot of
on TikTok.
podcasts.
It's like a thing now, and so I feel
Yeah.
like that's part of why we think about it now. But
Yeah, and I don't care if like a woman, or if a woman wants to do that, that's her
mhm,
choice. But
Yeah,
that
it's
should always be
fine.
expected of her. Like she shouldn't,
Right, exactly.
yeah, she shouldn't look down. She shouldn't. A woman shouldn't be looked down upon if she wants to be a traditional housewife, or if
mhm,
she wants to, you know, be a working woman. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like she should have the choice either way and not be looked down upon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right, right. But
yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. He has, like I said, I think he's literally the perfect boyfriend. He is so
right.
sweet. And so it killed me inside when she was like, we can't be together right now. And the
Right.
his little like puppy dog eyes, and he looks so sad. He
God,
looks so
you
sad.
guys make me really want to watch this movie again. I might have to buy the Blu-ray of this.
Yeah. Oh, another really cool thing. We were talking about connections,
Mm.
okay? And I don't know if y'all noticed this. Let me know if you did. But so Needy clearly had a very strange connection to Jennifer. Like
Yeah.
so much so to the point where when she was committing a murder or like killing someone, she kind of knew, like she was having
Yeah.
visions. Like, for example, when it was doing the contrast, like the cutting between scene, like when she was having sex, she was like, she kept on like mimicking or saying,
Yeah.
what was she was saying, what was it, hopeless, she was saying hopeless like
Yes.
out loud. And again, so sad for Chip because she was like crying out and he thought it was because she was into it, and that's not that was not why. But yeah, she uh that was really funny. um but yeah, the connection there, so she saw what I guess Jennifer was doing. But then also at the end, at the very end of the movie, when Needy ripped the necklace off of her,
Yeah.
she, it was almost like a spell had been broken and she
Right.
Mm,
dropped. And then she kind of froze for a little bit, enough for her to stab her. And I
yeah,
was
that was pretty
like,
gnarly.
yeah, and I thought that was interesting because, in supernatural lore and whatnot, a lot of times like power can be stuck in objects and things like that.
Mm,
So I was
Right.
like, that would, it would make sense if those are their BFF necklaces, that when, if they're going out together, that it is to be assumed that they were both wearing the BFF necklaces, right? And, if she in fact had that on when she was getting sacrificed, that some of that supernatural mojo kind of went into that necklace, like
Hmm.
that makes sense to me, especially because apparently this demonic force can be transferred just by her biting Needy as well, apparently.
Right.
um it
yeah.
would, yeah, it kind of makes sense to me, but I thought that was interesting.
I like in horror films when there is stuff that just is and it's not tried to explain, they don't try to
Yeah.
explain it at
Evil Dead
A
does
all.
la
that really
a la
well.
Kreger.
Sure, yeah. But I really like that kind of stuff that it's just kind of mystical and you just have to make what you will of it.
Yeah,
And the
not
necklace
everything has to
really stuck out
be.
to me this time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
not everything has to be explained.
Right.
well, I think you mentioned like Jack Kreger just now. Other good examples would
Hmm.
be like how the first Halloween, like before they try to explain like what makes Michael Myers tick. It's
Right.
oh he just went crazy one day as a kid. Or Evil Dead does that. They don't really try to explain the Nefergoticon. It's just this evil book written in human blood, bounded by
Hmm.
human skin.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like when movies have like an aura mystery to them, when you have to
Yeah.
like kind of fill in the blanks as an audience member.
Hmm.
Um, that's right. You have to think sometimes. The movies, guys, don't have anything explained to you.
Hmm.
You don't
But
even have to think. You can just accept it. Like,
yeah,
I'm fine with just accepting that there's some sort of mystical connection between Jennifer and Needy, and I don't need to I don't need to explore that idea. I think their sort of long-standing bond is enough to explain that.
right. Well, and
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's why I always defend the M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs, because it's like, well,
Sure.
like if you try to explain how the aliens, with the water and the doors and all that stuff works, then like that's something else that you people will complain about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not
It's more
everything.
fun to theorize than it is, because once you know, then you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Right.
you know?
yeah, exactly. Now, I know a couple years ago, me and Jackson did the Ginger Snap review when we did like like a trilogy of werewolf movies, and you
Hmm.
Hmm.
mentioned you compared that movie to this movie.
Hmm.
Out of both of these movies, which one do you like? And we can go around the room and discuss it. So I'll start with you, Jackson, since you championed this movie.
I love this movie, but I'm still a
Okay.
Ginger Snaps kind of person. Like, I
Okay.
don't know. I think part of it is, I saw Ginger Snaps probably first,
Hmm.
and it just got stuck in my head. And obviously, I spent years and years trying to get them to cover it on the fear of God and finally succeeded. Uh, but I wouldn't hold them too far apart in my mind. I think these movies are a perfect companion pieces in a lot of ways, even down to
Absolutely.
the style of the dialogue sometimes. Like Diablo Cody takes it farther, and that's another thing I wanted to mention before I forget is a lot of people that don't like Diablo Cody's writing come at her as like, oh, it's all just made up slang. And I'm just like, fuck all the way off. Because, she's at least got imagination in
Right.
her writing. Like, it's not boring dialogue. She
I
maybe
like it
takes it too far
because
sometimes, but that's fine. I don't care.
for the
Yeah, like
most part, we did use a lot of language like that back then,
Right.
but
Yeah.
also like for some of the like lines um like specifically the things where she added an I, like shortened it, then added an IE. Like you give me such a wetty, I think she said
Right.
to Jonas in the forest, and like it's like stuff like that. I was like, no, we did that shit. We
Yeah.
absolutely talked like that. And it
right.
Yeah.
sounds dumb, but that's part of why she, like, it's supposed to be cringe and make you feel, make the situation more awkward and just bad. Like that's kind of why she's like why
Right.
it's there.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. I totally forgot. Oh no. I mean, it's the same thing with Stephen King. Like he writes
Oh
dialogue
my
for
goodness.
people that talk
Some of
weird.
the phrases he comes up with are insane. But
Yeah,
you can
but that's not like
absolutely imagine some old guy from Maine saying that.
yeah.
It's
Well,
Hmm.
that's
like
the
you bet your dog whistle or something like
yeah. Well, it's
that.
like I read Cujo recently, and there's a whole subplot where one of their like friends from this town that they live at cheats on the dude's wife, and
Hmm.
he tells the husband about it, the guy, the guy that's doing the cheating. And instead of like, hey, I'm cheating on your wife, or your wife is cheating with me, he didn't just say that. He makes things graphic. I'm like, what the fuck, King? Lay off the cocaine, dude. I know the '80s, but
That
God,
was that period of his life for sure. Yeah.
yeah, man. Jose, where you at? Are you team Ginger Snaps or team Jennifer Body?
I don't know. I don't know if I can pick,
That's hard.
if I can really pick one or the other, because I like them both for different,
Hmm.
some the same reasons and others for different reasons, because like the themes are very similar,
Mhm.
but they're different parts of femininity. Like I feel like with Jennifer's Body, even though two women are like the primary roles in it, their relationship that could be applied to anybody.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Whereas Ginger Snaps is specifically a female issue. Like it is a
Right.
female
Right.
centric,
Didn't think
female
about that.
problem movie about female puberty
Hmm.
Mhm.
specifically. That cannot be argued. Like you can talk about how puberty affects men. It affects women very differently.
Hmm.
And it's just, and that movie addresses it, right? And then in Jennifer's Body, like, they talk about, specifically I'd mentioned earlier about like the friendship stuff and whatever. And they both also um are kind of queer movies in a
Hmm.
way.
Right.
I do think that Diablo was doing more intentional things with like the bisexuality um on
Hmm.
purpose, because this is also something that many women deal with when they're coming up, is when your hormones are kind of going crazy, and you are like, you literally in your mind you're like, do I, am I friends with this person, or do I want to fuck them? Like you'd like, there's
Right.
sometimes you're like, in full disclosure, I'm bisexual for people who are not
Right.
aware. But it's like, I think they even said the line, right? Like, um, I thought you only murder boys, and she goes, I go both ways. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was that scene where she's like full on making out with her, and she's like, what the fuck am I doing? And like jumps off
Right.
of her or whatever. So and I think some people, I think, might try to argue like, oh, that was in there just again like a male gaze type of thing, but I
Hmm.
disagree. I think
Yeah.
as a woman who has gone through that, like there are lots of women who experiment with their friends and
Right.
who like they practice on their friends before they go and do it with men, even if they're 100% straight. They will make out with their friend because they want to learn, because their friend's going to be brutally honest and be like, don't put your tongue there or whatever. Like, that's something, not all women, but that is an experience that women have. And so I thought, again, that was very real and I like that it was put in there. And it just, I feel like a lot of the people who have the negative sense of it are maybe a little more sheltered, or are just, no offense to y'all, but just a guy who maybe doesn't 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 think about, like, because there's obviously like, oh, women kissing hot, but it's more than that, because they were so close and and I think they did love each other. You know what I mean? Because, and this goes back to the conversation we were having earlier, like, you get so like connected or stuck with someone, and you don't realize until later how it might be hurting you, right? Like, I think that's very fair to say with loved ones, even people who you're in a personal relationship with, like, you sometimes you might be very confused about that relationship, or I mean, that's all part of it. But again, I know I feel like I'm ranting here, but that all this to say, they both kind of are doing a lot of that. Like, they both center on female centric things. They both, a lot of the queer community has backed both of these movies and really appreciated the representation and the connection they feel with the films. And I like them both for both of those reasons. I think I might get in different moods. You were talking about fall movies earlier. I think that Ginger Snaps is more of a fall movie, but Jennifer's Body, to me, Jennifer's Body doesn't feel like a fall movie, but like, I've seen Jennifer's Body more times.
It's like a fall movie a little bit, just not as much as Ginger Snaps.
Yeah. But I don't know. I honestly cannot say whether, I don't think I like one more than the other. I like them both about the same.
Okay.
With specific things in it being that I like more than the other. Like, with Jennifer's Body, there's obvious like wire work and some CGI and things like that, which kind of, I think, looked cool at the time. Now it's kind of aged poorly. And then, but in Ginger Snaps, there's the very practical effects that are awesome, and the makeup is amazing. And so, like, then it's kind of like, okay, that's tilting the scale a little bit. But then, I don't know. I like both of them a lot for, yeah.
Good answer, Jocee. Good answer. I honestly don't know, because dialogue-wise and plot and story-wise, these are very unique movies. They have their own voice. I think stylistically, I think Jennifer's Body, if you just mute the movie and don't have any subtitles on and it's just looking at it visually, would feel like any other like high school, horror movie. It's really the dialogue that feels unique. I
can
feel
see
like
that, yeah.
I feel like with Ginger Snaps, I feel like the dialogue is very unique and the visual, but the filmmaking is very unique. Like it's just like the filmmaking style is its own thing. It's
I
very
mean, there's almost a decade between these two movies, and
Yeah.
I feel like they are both very much of their time.
and they made that sort of thing where
Yeah.
I'm more familiar with modern high school teenage movies like Superman and Easy A and
They both,
that kind of stuff.
if you think about it though, where they were shot is extremely similar. Even down to Jennifer walking down the hallway is very exactly an homage to Ginger Snaps, because there's literally a scene in Ginger Snaps where she's walking down the hallway exactly like Jennifer.
Yeah.
Like right after she snacked on a man too. It's like the exact same thing. So
Sure.
yeah, but like they're both shot around high schools in the high school, out on the field at one point. That was, different situations, but a field.
Yeah.
They were in the woods at one point in both of them. They were in their houses at one point. Now, I guess the difference being with the girls' rooms, they were, I would assume, well, upstairs. Yeah, they were both upstairs. I'm pretty sure. Needy for
Yeah.
sure, because at one point Jennifer jumped down and out of the window.
Mhm.
And then with the other girls in the other movie, it's like it looks like a basement situation, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, like in terms of like just that alone, like where they're shot is very, very similar.
Yeah, and I guess I meant with more ginger snaps. It could have been maybe like the type of cameras that they used versus Jennifer Body or like the lenses or whatever. There's just something about that movie that feels more warmer and more like what you said, more like a fall movie.
It's a
Yeah, I
little,
mean, it's got that
yeah,
color scheme
And
for sure.
it's very low to the
Very
ground.
amber toned. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very low to the like very like gritty,
Right.
very independently made versus this movie. Um,
Yeah.
but honestly, if I had a gun up against my head, I would honestly say Jennifer's Body, just
Mhm.
because I got into the vibe of the movie almost instantly. It took me a minute to really get into Ginger Snaps.
that's
Mhm.
fair.
Okay, it's just
Yeah.
it's a weirder movie. It's a way
It
weirder.
is weirder. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoy both movies. Like I think I mentioned this before on pod. I was raised by my mom for the most part, and I always try to see things through women's point of view, and I love a female centric movie like Terminator
Mhm.
2 or Alien, Barbie. Um, yeah, I always try to like seek out those kind of movies to kind of learn.
Alien's questionable. It has a female
Yeah,
lead, but I wouldn't say it's has female like um messaging in it
yeah.
necessarily. But
Maybe
maybe
Alien's more.
the second one a little more so, just because
Yeah,
with kiddo and whatnot. But the
I would
first
say
one,
I would say definitely with Romulus is more leaned into that, the more feminine aspect, the more motherly aspect
mhm.
of Aliens. God, I freaking love Romulus. That movie was so good. I saw that movie with my mom because we're both big Alien fans. It was raining outside, and the movie stopped twice.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
told me about that.
and one of them was during a chest burster scene, and I'm like,
Oh
motherfucker.
man, that's awful.
The
Yeah.
bummer.
But luckily, we got rain checks. The movie did start. We did finish it. We got rain checks, and I saw the Killer Game with John Batista with that, so that was fun. But
Okay.
anyways, guys, you ready to get to favorite part and then the least favorite part?
Sure.
And I'll start with you, Jose. What was your favorite part and your least favorite part, if you have one?
Hmm. Oh man.
That's hard. I'm asking all
Yeah,
the
it
questions.
is
Yeah.
hard.
And to be clear, Jose, when he says favorite part, it doesn't mean like scene necessarily. It just means any
Okay.
aspect of the movie
Yeah, like
that you would like to
acting.
single out as your favorite thing about the movie.
Yeah, it could be like the
Okay.
acting or like the music or like anything.
Yeah.
Um, well, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of what I like about this movie is the quotes from it. And
Okay.
it's and the reason why it's weird is because normally I don't hang on to a movie just for that reason.
Mm,
Hmm.
A lot of times if I do hang on to it, it's for a negative reason. But for this movie, it's I really like the dialogue. I think the dialogue is very quirky, but in a fun like it's funny. And also, I don't know, it's just the way it's why Juno was so great too. It's
Right.
the dialogue specifically makes it very interesting to me. Like the dialogue and just in general the writing. Like I think I'm just a big fan of Diablo Cody is what it is.
Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, it
And I
makes me want to.
think
Oh, sorry.
no, you're fine. I was just gonna say like she I was watching an interview that she did with Megan Fox. I think it was like 5 years ago or something for
Mm,
ET where she was talking about while Megan was mentioning the fact that she had a psychological breakdown after this, Diablo was saying that her kind of inspiration and what she kind of was going through her head while she was writing it was like Needy is the real kind of her in a way.
Mhm.
Mm.
And then Jennifer was kind of Diablo Cody, the more front facing, like stage name,
Yeah,
like
I
the
can see
one the
that.
people notice. And so that's kind of where part of her mindset was when she wrote it,
Mhm.
which
Right.
makes, that makes a lot of sense. But and I think it's very clear just from the writing that like this was, deeply personal for her
Mm.
and was kind of
Mhm.
introspective as well.
Yeah, for sure. What about least favorite part if you have one?
My least favorite part was when Needy had to do the research scene. Just because it's very tropey, where
Yeah.
she has to go to the library and go, "What's a succubus?" and read what a succubus is and all that. That's probably my least favorite part. I liked the imagery that they showed from the different books and things like that, and um, but because I think before she went and did the research, I think what is my dog doing back here? I'm sorry, I'm getting very distracted.
That's
She's
all
being very
good.
cute. Um, uh, but she, yeah, like she knew before going to the reason she went to research is because she knew she was demonic in some way or something was messed up about her. And I don't think they necessarily had to go, oh, she's a succubus and this is why she's a succubus. It was she's a succubus because they go back and do that flashback scene where they show her being sacrificed for Satan. So
Mm.
I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if it's fully, to me, it's not fully necessary. And again, it's kind of like a very popular trope. There's like, you know, in movies like this where somebody's trying to figure out, you got to go research it. You go to the library. But some people love that trope. Some people live for that. Like, yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to find the thing. So I don't
Yeah, there's
know.
a lot of movies that
But
do that.
like it's also hard for me to pick what I don't like because that's a very small nitpick. I feel it's not like
Yeah.
something very out. But to me, that was I don't know the first thing that kind of came to mind.
Right. What about you, Jackson? What is your favorite part and least favorite part?
This is tough because there's two things that I could consider my favorite part, but I got to pick one. So I have to go with Megan Fox's performance in this
Oh
movie.
yeah, absolutely.
And I feel bad because we haven't really talked about how great Amanda Seyfried is,
Oh
Mm-hmm.
but
shit, I forgot to talk. We
we
talked
haven't
about this.
talked about it at all. And I feel bad because she's also a great actor and I've loved her in many other things. But just when you go back to the time, and I remember Megan Fox from, have y'all ever heard of a movie called Confessions of a Teenage Drama
Yes,
Queen
unfortunately,
with Lindsay
unfortunately.
Lohan? And that's
Yeah.
from like 2003 or 4. Like it's around the same time as Mean Girls. And
Hmm.
Megan Fox is sort of the mean girl Regina George character in that movie. And immediately when I saw her, and I was in college at the time, because she and I are close to the same age, and I was just like, who is that? And then, Transformers comes around. And yeah, I think everybody didn't really take her seriously enough. And she's so good because the thing about her performance in this movie is, yeah, she gets all that sort of Ice Queen kind of lines, and she gets to like flaunt her, sexuality and all of that stuff, but she's being very vulnerable at other times. Like the
Right.
scene
Yeah.
where she's begging for her life from Low Shoulder, and then the other scene that really made me think of The Substance is where she's putting on the face cream.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
And
just really smearing it on there, and
The
she looks like she's
Substance.
starting to like tear up a little bit
yeah,
That's
and
almost.
it's
another
like,
good female-centric horror
yeah,
movie
that's
where it
that's a
stars
great one.
women and is directed by a woman. Yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
Right, but
Love it.
Yeah,
but
that's a
yeah,
good
Megan
movie.
Fox is really she's so locked into this character, and I just feel bad that like nobody ever took her seriously. She didn't ever really get another great role like this.
Hmm.
And I know she's been working again more recently. Like she's got a couple movies that she's the star of, like on Netflix and stuff, and I haven't seen them. I probably should give them a watch to see, what she's like now. But yeah, this movie was just the perfect star vehicle for her, and it didn't pan out the
Well,
way that it should
I
have.
mean, a great example of why the writing is so freaking important and like a good director is so important is
Right.
because she was just in that movie that I do not ever want to see, where I think she was like a sex robot, wasn't
She's a
she?
sex robot.
Yeah.
Yep. I
And
can't remember what it's
was
called, but I know the one you're talking about.
I'm
It's
pretty
on
sure that's written
Netflix.
and directed by men.
Probably,
Um,
yeah.
so I was like, yeah, and that surprised me that she took that role, unless it was just because for money reasons. Who knows? Because MGK says enough crap on Twitter to make her go broke, I feel like. But
Mm.
um, I feel for her with that relationship.
Right.
She could do better. Anyway.
What's your least favorite part, Jackson?
I'm
Yeah.
racking my brain to try to come up with something, and I don't think this movie is like a perfect masterpiece or anything,
hmm
but at the same time, I can't single anything out that I don't like about it.
hmm
I guess, I don't know, if I gotta pick one stupid thing, it's when she first turns into the succubus and her face gets all CGI and it looks sort of stupid.
Yeah.
That is absolutely nothing though. So I don't really have a least favorite
Yeah.
part.
You don't always have to have a least favorite part. You can just say not.
I a lot of times I don't have one, and I don't really think I have one with this movie either. I
Yeah.
I I really love this movie.
Yeah, we're not
That's
talking about Shadow in the Cloud. So
I have not seen that still. I really want to watch it.
I thought it was okay.
don't,
It could have
please
had so much more,
don't.
but it should have had more potential. But
It's so bad. I hated that movie.
really,
But see, I know that some people really love that movie. So
I
I'm
don't
curious at
understand.
this point. I don't know.
yeah. What was
I
funny?
just
One of my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoons is when it's set in WW2 and he fights the
Is it
or
the one with the gremlin
yes, I
on
love
the
that
plane?
cartoon.
Yeah, I love that one too. That's a good one.
Yeah, we had that that episode on VCR where my grandma did. And I used to watch that
I
all
used to
the
have
time.
that on tape as well, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I love the part that sticks out of my head is when the little gremlin guy goes, "I like him. He's funny."
yeah, they're like, what if we made these real
Yeah,
and put it in a movie with um over uh, overt, way too overt men bad
yeah, that kind of bugged
dialogue.
me a little bit.
And yeah, that well, and I think a lot of the reason why that movie bugged me so much is because they were trying to create a female empowerment kind of like big
Hmm.
role for her.
Hmm.
And compared to other movies I've seen as of late that do it so much better, a la Jennifer's Body, The Substance, Birth Rebirth, just all of these movies who have like in female centric roles that don't need to, you know, they don't need to do that whole shtick,
Mm.
and we get it, and it you connect to it a lot
Yeah,
more.
because like the
That's
substance like does it like a little bit. There's like that bathroom scene when like Dennis Quaid's character saying like all these wild accusations about women, and then
mm-hmm,
you only need that because like you get the point in the movie.
mm-hmm.
Which is funny because we talked about that during our Memphis trip, and Dennis Quaid is a pretty hardcore conservative, and this
Yeah, I'm surprised he did that movie, but he did.
yeah,
So
maybe he didn't
I
get
don't
the
know.
rest of the
He's
script.
great in that movie too. He's so good. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe he didn't get like the rest of the script, and he didn't get the satire of it all. Maybe I don't know.
yeah, maybe. I don't know, but he seems so committed to it. Like he's
Yeah,
doing such an over the top thing. I feel like he knows what he's doing. I don't know. It's really weird because that movie came out at the same time as the movie Reagan, where he literally played Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
They were
I mean,
playing in
I
the same
still
theater where I live, like just next door to each other. It was crazy.
yeah, it's hard to think of like I think some people, especially in Hollywood, like present themselves one way, but they have different beliefs and things like that. And
Right.
I think that he could. It is it, it's a conundrum to be both a conservative and also believe in have feminist views.
Mm,
Those would
Mhm.
collide an awful lot. So I don't.
right.
It would be hard for me to understand it, but I
Yeah.
could see as someone in Hollywood and not,
Yeah.
kind of losing touch with reality a
Well,
little
a
bit.
lot
You
of
know what I mean? Like,
liberal actors play some pretty nasty characters that are racist and misogynistic.
yeah.
You just gotta get in that character, if your character's
Yeah.
like that. Uh,
Hmm.
it's like when I watch Black Klansman and I'm hearing things from like the Topher Grace character and the other like KKK member characters. I'm like,
Hmm.
God, this gotta be hard to like act this out. Like, and
Hmm.
then Topher Grace has said like it was really hard to say some of the things about black people, honestly. Like
Yeah.
especially who isn't
I
racist.
always forget he plays David Duke in that movie. That's
Yeah.
so weird.
But
I love that
There's,
movie. It's so great.
yeah, there's some people who don't go back and view their own movies. I haven't like
Yeah.
watched enough of Dennis Quaid interviews or anything to know if he is that type of person or if he does like to enjoy his own movies or what.
mm,
But, if he is truly like doesn't have deeply feminist values, it wouldn't necessarily, he could have taken the role for a multitude of reasons,
mhm.
but honestly,
Yeah.
just viewing his character in that movie alone, like all they would like the pitch could have just been you're going to be this awful kind of goofy studio exec and
Right.
we're going to do very super close zooms on your face doing some weird stuff and
While you
we
eat
might hear
shrimp
you
like a
yeah like we
monster.
might we might hear you tinkle at one point.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that goofy.
actually
Are you in or are you out?
that
And
was
he's
one.
like, I mean, that sounds really fun. I'm
Yeah.
in. You know what I mean? Without even ignoring all the other crap because he's
Mm,
really not a part of that
right.
anyway.
Right.
Um
Yeah, and honestly, like that was the only thing I didn't really like about that movie with the close up of him eating like the
oh,
food.
I
I'm like,
love that.
I
Oh,
didn't
it's
like
great.
it was
But it's so
unnecessary. Like,
gross.
what was the point of it instead of just being gross?
Just to
To make
further
him gross.
yeah, to
Yeah,
further the point that he is disgusting. To make you
Right.
it's to make you as an audience member, it is to make you viscerally actually feel disgusted. Not
I guess
just in
so.
your yeah, like not just in your brain, because you can easily
Yeah.
write in a character and go, wow, that guy's a fucking douchebag.
Mhm.
But then when you like think about when you see someone vomiting
Oh yeah.
IRL, you know what I mean? Like that makes you just like you feel it. You know what I mean?
I
And
got
so
yeah.
those that's what that did for me when I saw that scene. Like shrimp are delicious. I love shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
But whenever you do a zoom in on someone and you hear the like slursh
Yeah.
kind of like
Mm.
weird
Slurping
crunchy
to shrimping. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I was like, what do we say on that? But talking, yeah, the noises and stuff. I mean, yeah, it literally viscerally makes you, and I think that was more so the point, just to make you actually
Yeah.
feel it.
And that
You
was
know?
fine with all the other gross stuff in the movie, especially the beginning when he's like
But then
fucking
you draw the
bloodbath.
line at gross shrimp eating.
The practical effects are so good in that movie too.
Yeah, do that anything when it's just like a fucking bloodbath, like it's Evil Dead, like
That
that.
was goofy.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting take on that where it was like these people that wanted to throw her, out to the curb because he's old and wrinkly and stuff like that. The whole blood thing, her splashing, with area with blood was like, yeah, like a kind of like a fuck you kind of thing. He's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't want to take me seriously at all.
Also,
Like, fuck you, I don't want to spray you with blood.
how else would you end that movie? That's the only conclusion you can come to. It's
Right.
just going
It's
to
kind of
explode
getting
and get blood on everybody.
yeah, because some you were talking about like some of the takes or whatever. Like I think it's very intentional that it gets more and more absurd as it goes on.
Right.
Because like one of the things, one of the biggest like critiques I heard of it was like, how can this old woman get up and run around
Right.
and do that shit? And I'm like, that's not what I was thinking about when I was watching that
Right.
scene, really. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, at least for me. But I think that's, it's also kind of takes place. It kind of has that It Follows type of vibe.
Mm.
It's
You know what I'm
outside of
saying?
space and time. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally
yeah.
see
It
that
kind of
one
has
too.
that type. Yeah. So because it has that going for it, I think my mind wasn't so grounded
Hmm.
Right.
where
Yeah.
I immediately and I'm lucky that I have a brain where I'm able to kind of detach a little bit because like
Mhm.
my husband cannot. As when we get out of a movie, he's like, "What the fuck was that? Like that made no sense." Like da da da, But it's funny. We sometimes will really agree. Like both of us with weapons, we both liked Barbarian more than we liked weapons, and I
Oh, I
think
like
that's kind of
Barbarian more. Yeah,
yeah. And I was like,
I,
"Is
I'm a
that?"
weapons guy
Yeah, I
all
feel
the
I know
like
way.
you are, Jackson. Step the hell up. I don't give a, I don't
yeah,
care. Barbarian's better. You
yeah.
know it.
Yeah. But I did like weapons, but and I think I said this on our the Fear of God Discord, like part of my viewing was tainted by the guest next to me,
Yeah.
which
That can hurt you, yeah.
yeah, I think
Honestly,
that affected it for sure.
my opinion on weapons and Barbarian, my same opinion on Ginger Snaps and Jennifer Body. I was way more locked in on Barbarian than I was with weapons.
Okay.
Weapons took me like almost like the third or fourth storyline or character point of view.
Wow.
It
I
really felt.
cannot relate because I was locked in
Well,
immediately.
I was
Oh, I'm
locked
glad you like
in.
it, Jackson.
Yeah, I was locked in and I don't know, I really liked it because it it had a lot of characters that
Mm,
worked for me, but specifically, like I'm a teacher, and it was
right.
really like
Right.
once I try to stay away from trailers because sometimes they give too much. But one of the trailers that I saw for Weapons for one of the other movies I saw in theaters, when I saw it, I was like, oh, she's supposed to be a teacher. Oh, bet
Right.
I'm totally gonna go watch this movie
Yeah.
now because I was like, I can't think of another like not right off the top. I'd have to
Mm,
think for a while about a horror movie that centered around or at least had a major character that was a teacher.
yeah. It's not.
Village of
And
the Damned.
Oh yeah.
okay.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of just right off the top of my head. But yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
it's not used a whole lot and I know we're not this isn't a weapons podcast, but we
well, we're
have been
talking
talking.
about everything at this
Yeah, I
point.
know.
Yeah.
We've been talking about connections and female things and whatnot. But
Right.
as the resident female here today, um, so that movie, I really felt for her because I'm a teacher and I'm a woman,
Hmm.
and then like you feel I could only that whole time I was thinking like there are situations like that with children who don't they hide their trauma and
Mm,
you wouldn't know what's going on under the surface type of thing.
Yeah.
That's very real. Like I
Hmm.
when I'm watching these movies, that's when I think like it's one of the reasons why it's so well. That child actor was
oh
wonderful in
yeah.
that movie, but
Oh man,
yeah.
his performance wrecks me in that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
it's like I'm thinking, well, now we're in a time where like a lot of teachers are unfortunately like demonized.
Right.
You
For
know,
being woke. Mm.
yeah, making your kids gay and trans and all that fucking bullshit.
God.
Yeah, it's
I'm happily
stupid.
woke. You know what? I will I'm going to say this here, fire me. I'm going to indoctrinate all of your kids to shut the fuck up, sit down and learn something. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm going to indoctrinate your kids to stop looking at their phones. I'm going to
yeah,
indoctrinate your kids to learn math.
yeah.
Like
And
what
by
are
the
we
way,
doing?
guys, this comes straight from the mouth of Drew Passanen from not Fear of God, for Sci-Fi and Beyond. Being kind to one another is punk rock.
Yes.
Yep.
It is very
Be
much so.
excellent to each other.
Yeah, just be nice to each other, man. Don't be a
Yeah.
shit. But
Yeah.
anyways, my favorite part of this movie.
We're finally getting to this.
Yeah.
This should be called, what is your title going to be? Because it should be the most ADHD podcast
No,
ever.
this
I mean,
is
like,
no, Jose, if you ever come back on here, which I hope you will,
Oh,
this is
definitely.
what it's like.
no, I
This
love,
is how
this
we
is my
run the
type of
show.
conversation because just,
It is.
again, I feel like I'm kind of shitting on Reed a little bit. I love him to death, but like So I kind of like the format where we kind of jump around a lot
Mm.
because that's how my brain works. And when it's
Right.
a little too organized, I'm like, well, on the last when we were on Ginger Snaps, I felt so bad. Like you don't want to know how like I felt so bad that I forgot to give the badges after the fact. And I was like, oh no, I forgot. And I was like, I wasn't following the format right. I felt so like about it. But
They do
anyway,
their thing, we do ours. So,
yeah.
It's all good.
Anyway, sorry. I know
Yeah.
I'm bringing it
I
up
love you,
right.
again.
Reed. You're amazing.
Yeah, we love those guys.
Yeah, we're actually gonna try this October to do like a horror movie quiz and
I
Jackson.
need to start working on that. Shoot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're gonna make it like a big deal. We're gonna try and make it like a WWE match. So we're gonna like film videos of us talking shit to each other.
Oh, okay.
Jose, I might reach out to you for help on this because I have to come up with 31 trivia questions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I might actually anyway, that's neither here nor there. Drew,
Yeah,
what's your favorite
we're gonna
part
do
of
nickname.
Jennifer's body?
We're gonna do nicknames and like intros. It's gonna be awesome. Yep, I want to do like a ring announcer voice.
That'll
That's
be
gonna
You
be
know
great.
you're gonna lose, right? You're gonna lose really
probably
terribly to
Damn,
probably.
Reed.
when is this happening? The shit talking starting now? That's great.
You know what? No, let's start the shit talking right now. You know what, Reed?
He said
I
it's
think
on.
I think the fact that you are a horror movie nerd and you know all this stuff about horror movies is absolute donkey set, and
Oh
I'm
my
gonna kick
God,
your little
we're
ass
doing
this October.
WWE stuff now. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to start the sit talking. Uh, but anyways, my favorite part of this movie, and I have to sing a little song to express my love of this scene. And it goes a little something like this: 8675309.
Oh my God, that's your favorite part?
Yes, because I wasn't born in the 80s,
You're
but I
sick.
fucking love the 80s. The 80s are amazing.
I love the way that that scene is filmed though, because like they got the actual Devil's Kettle like whirlpool in the
Mm.
background of it too.
Mm,
And yeah, it kind of is like all of the concepts of the movie wrapped in one. Like you get the setting, you get the satanic stuff, you get the female like, the female centric like whatever. I mean, it's kind of like a lot of what makes the movie. I mean, it's a
yeah,
very
you get a
integral scene.
really raw performance from Megan Fox in that. I've never seen her
Yeah.
do anything like that in any other movies that she's been in. Like it
Mm.
is like she's like really going for it and it's like give the woman an Oscar for this, please. She's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Yeah, or oh, what's the one for horror, sci-fi, and fantasy? It is the Spirit Awards or something.
No, you're thinking of it's like the Saturn
Yeah, the
Awards, I
Saturn.
guess. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but well, I mean, Carla Gugino never. I don't think ever got nominated for a Saturn, which is complete bullshit.
Yeah, she's deserved it a number of
Yeah,
times. Yeah.
honestly, as far as she's my like modern day of this generation like favorite horror queen. I love her and all the
Great.
and stuff. I'm a Flanagan fanboy. I don't care. You can make fun of me all you want about it.
Okay. Nobody's making fun. What's your least favorite part?
Nothing. This movie.
Okay, cool.
Um, so let's do rating. I'll start with you, Jackson, since I started with Jose first. What is your rating out of 10?
I'll give it an 8.
An
Like
8?
like I said, I don't think this movie's like a perfect masterpiece or anything, but man, it's
Right.
solid. Like it's there's nothing bad about it. I don't necessarily think that it achieves like the great heights of a lot of it. Like I don't think it's as good as The Substance, for example, to
Right.
bring it back. I don't think it's as visionary as that, but I think this movie does everything right. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Sweet. What about you, Jose? Out of 10.
Yeah, I was actually going back to my letterbox to see what I because I know like letterbox is out of 5 and I was like, man, because I fluctuate on movie ratings
Sure, I
a
get that.
lot.
Yeah.
And I mean it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5. So um yeah, I mean I feel like I'd also give it an 8.
Ready.
Yeah, like an 8 or maybe even a 9, but I feel like giving it a 9 would be purely for nostalgia.
That was my conflict
And
as well. I
so
couldn't
yeah,
decide.
because
Do you go to
like
8?
most of the other ones I would put like a 9 out of 10 would be like a 4.5 out of 5
Okay.
on
Right.
Letterbox for me. And I'm like thinking
Well, you can
about,
go 8.5 and even the
yeah,
scales a little bit.
that's true. Okay, well, 8.5 then.
Okay.
I'll do
Oh,
8.5.
we're getting really granular. Fine. I'm going to give it an 8.6
No,
just
you
to
want
be
to do,
better
you
than
want to do
Joseph.
5. You want to do 5.
What is this? Price is Right? Jesus.
You want to stick with the 8, Jackson, or do you want to
Yes, I'm kidding about the 8.6.
Okay. All right, so you gave it an 8.5. I'm gonna give this movie a 9.
Okay.
Just
I
because,
kind of thought you were going to, yeah.
yeah, just because like this movie hooked me at the very beginning of the movie. I was very
That
skeptical.
was a teenage girl, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm honestly very proud of you for this being a first viewing and you like it this
Mm,
much. Like,
yeah.
and I think it's really cool that, it initially started as a commercial failure, which then led to kind of a cult following.
Mm,
But
Right.
since I don't think you can even, I think it's just a good horror movie now.
mm,
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
so
even
too,
think you
yeah.
can call it cult at this point. I think it's just
Right.
a good, like people like it and it's genuinely good.
yeah. And
Yeah.
honestly, like I said earlier, I'm working on a screen fan film, which is gonna be a whole trilogy. That's my dream that I want to do with it.
It's a trilogy now. This is the first I'm hearing of
No,
this, Joseph.
no. Well, I had that idea for a trilogy for a while. It's not new for me. It's new for you, Jackson. But yeah, even though this is a very female-centric movie, it's a movie with teenagers. I'm gonna take a little bit of inspiration from this movie, and how it's structured and how it kind of like the story and all that stuff.
And you're gonna be like Chip.
Yeah, I'll run a tip character in the next movie. I actually do have an idea for another movie that I want to do called the Special Needs Film Club. An autistic kid
Yeah.
who starts a film club with a guidance counselor with other kids with special needs. Because I'm actually on the spectrum and I love movies and I kind of relate things with my life with movies. So
Yeah,
that'll be
I
kind
think
of
that would be a great thing to do because I think there's been a lot of movies who have done that very poorly, a la
Right.
like Sia.
The Sia movie, yeah, that nobody
yeah.
actually
Good
that
saw,
movie.
freaking
but
Lord. Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
sure that I mean that's probably one that pisses a lot of people off, not just people with autism, but
Yeah, and I
just
don't get
literally
offended by
everyone.
yeah, I don't get offended by a lot of things. That movie actually offended me.
It's awful.
oh, you saw it?
So
I saw in
awful.
clips of it. I never actually sat down
Oh,
and
okay.
watched it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you might want to hurt someone if you actually watched it.
But no, I think with me being on the spectrum, I get it, and then I'm actually gonna, if I ever actually get to direct a movie, I'm gonna cast somebody that's on the spectrum as the main character, and
That's
I'll
awesome.
and all the
Yeah.
classes are gonna be like different like aspects of like special needs, like
So neurodivergent in some way.
yeah, like Down
Yeah.
syndrome and other kind of
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to make that. That's gonna be my Fablemans, basically. It basically could be my life in movie form.
I keep trying to get him to let me play the teacher in the movie, and he won't do it.
I want Reed to play him.
Well, you know what? I live a lot closer to you than Reed does.
You wouldn't want me to be the teacher in your movie because I don't look like a stereotypical
Yeah.
teacher.
Maybe I'll have you in like the background somewhere.
I would not. I feel like I try. I don't do it with intention, but I'm like
Yeah.
always doing something that's like not the look. We just had a parent meeting, and my whole presentation was like orange and black and like Halloweeny, and it's so funny because yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not something that other teachers would do. You know what I mean? Like
Well, that's their problem, Jocee. You're awesome
that's
for
very
doing
true.
that. Yeah.
But I do like, I will say, I do like having a thing. As a teacher, I like having my thing be spooky Halloween lady because that's
Nice.
something the kids like. I feel like when you have a teacher that has a thing, you hold on to that, like you
Right.
remember
Right.
that sometimes. And
Hmm.
it's really cute. Like I'll still like
Mm.
um my kids who I had a few years ago, they'll give me like a little note and it has like me drawn on there with purple, of course, with my purple hair and
Mm.
like stuff like that. And I just think that's so sweet. And
Yeah,
I
for
get
sure.
yeah, they'll make there was a mom who asked what for a favorite things list at the beginning of the year, and
Mm.
I was like, okay, I mean, sure, I'll tell you what snacks I
Right.
like and stuff. And I thought that was really sweet. And she's like, obviously, besides the Halloween
Mm.
stuff. And I laughed because, yeah, because it's getting more like this is excessive, but like whenever, like my classroom is starting to become that way. Not because of me, it's because
Yeah.
of my gifts. My students get me gifts and stuff that's
By
like
the way,
skulls and skeletons and stuff.
I love your thing poster.
Oh, thank you.
That movie's
I,
amazing.
I was looking at that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
You gotta
equally
be
paired with
fucking
my
kidding me.
wicker spider underneath it that freaks some people out.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I got that thing poster. There, I forget the guy who sells those, but it's one of those fabric ones
Mm.
Oh,
that
nice.
feel, yeah, I love the fabric posters.
Awesome.
And it's the perfect size for the frame and all that. But they do this thing in Fort Worth, which I don't know if I mentioned it on the other pod or whatever, but they do this thing in Fort Worth called Weird Wednesdays,
Hmm.
and it's hosted by the movie Mutant, and it takes place in this old church. And he sets up like he has this whole movie set up where he shows like usually cult films of some
Hmm.
sort with every month has a different theme. And like that was where I saw Return to Frog, was it Return to Frogtown or whatever for the first time? It's a
Oh, the
Roddy
Roddy
Piper.
Piper movie? Yeah.
Yes, yes, girl. Yeah. So I saw that. I fucking loved it. It was so funny. And watching that as a group watch is phenomenal, let me just say. But
Awesome.
yeah, I mean, it was so cool to go. I had never like I kind of went on a whim. I think I saw it on Facebook or whatever, and it's so cool to interact with other like horror and kind of just quirky weird
Hmm.
dweebs like us, you know? And before they actually start the movie, they have two separate vendor rooms. One is like a more generic vendor room
Hmm.
where it has like snacks and candy and like kind of stuff that everybody who goes there might like. And then the next room is just full on oddities and horror.
Nice.
So like there's one guy there who he also if you've heard of the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, he also sells stuff at that.
Okay.
Like I saw him when I went to that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's all like horror fabric posters and really nice like
Nice.
merchandise or whatever.
That's
But
cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. So real quick, speaking of teachers having their thing, quote unquote, I haven't written the script for this movie yet. I'm just, I'm running notes, for like
Mm-hmm.
ideas, or whatever. If I can get your cousin Reed in here, I want him at the guidance counselor because the whole scene's gonna set place, in the school where it's like nerd day, and he wears a Star Trek tie, and I wear a Star Wars tie because I like Star Wars more. And I think it'd be really funny if there's like a moment where me and him argue about Star Wars and Star Trek in the middle of the movie. I think it'd be really funny. But then
All right. Before we go, I had something I wanted to ask y'all about.
oh, really
Okay.
quick, can I do the fiscal score real quick?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I know we got off track, but the official score for Jennifer's Body is at 8.5, which is not too
Nice.
bad. That's actually really good for a little movie that could. And I forgot to mention that I think Megan Fox in this movie is the kind of Keanu Reeves of actresses because you just give her that one role and she's just fine,
Yeah.
both metaphorically and physically. Or literally, is what I meant to say, but you know what I mean. Because he
Mm-hmm.
flies in this, or hovers. That I don't know. See, her feet did not touch the ground. In this movie at some point. Not to say that she flies. Okay,
Right.
I'm ready for you, Jackson.
Oh, okay. So, we've been talking about like sort of horror movies that were conceived and made by women. Um, have y'all ever seen The Slumber Party Massacre?
Yes.
I have not yet. That's on my list though, for sure.
Because that is such an oddity from the 80s. I was actually texting with Vera and Jess about this today. because I was listening to Jennifer's Body and they were talking about like, we want to focus on the Ghoul Scouts. We want to focus on movies that are, made by and for women. And it got me thinking, Slumber Party Massacre is crazy because it's in the height of the slasher craze.
Mm.
And yet
Yeah.
it's written and directed by women. The woman that wrote it was actually a feminist activist, and she
Really?
wrote it as satire against
Mm.
like the Friday the 13th type movies that were big at the time. But the
Mhm.
woman that directed it did not really see it that way, and she just made it like it was any other slasher movie.
Right.
So it's got this weird tonal imbalance to it,
Mm.
but it kind of works. And I would love it if at some point in the future we three could reconvene and talk about the Slumber Party Massacre.
I'll consider
Is it-
I'll
oh,
consider that. I'll consider
It
that.
is on Shudder.
Yeah.
That one and 2, which oh my
Two
gosh,
is
I
not
could-
that good, but the
Yeah.
first one is really good, I
Mm.
think. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean it's campy, but
Mm.
it's good.
Well, you know when it's good whenever. So this is what I love about Shudder because it's really for horror nerds. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I always go if it's on Shudder. I always look at the review, like the skull rating
Mm.
on Shudder, just because like Slumber Party Massacre, for instance, like I think on IMDb has like a 5 point something, but it's got a 4 out of 5
Yeah.
on
No,
Shudder.
horror
So
fans love this movie. Yeah.
right. So I think that that's very valid because
Yeah.
when you go to Letterboxd, when you go to IMDb, there are people who are going to consume this movie who don't like horror,
Mm.
which is it
Mhm.
to me is not as a horror lover. I don't really care about their opinion.
Exactly.
I want to know how people like me feel about it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. I watched that October of 2021. I watched Alien the previous night, and I wanted something lighter. And then plus, there's some hot chicks in there, so that's not too
Right.
bad.
Oh, it
Um,
definitely plays to the male gaze, but
yes,
it's funny because it's all done by women. And of
right.
course, I think some of that was like the studio saying you have to have, tits in the movie or
Mhm.
whatever. But it's still it's so over the top that it becomes funny at that point.
I just think it's
So,
funny that our friend Emma said the word tit in our Brian De Palma
and
view.
now we all say it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the door's open as far as tits
Right.
go. We just
Exactly.
say it whenever the hell we want.
This is what queer women can do. They can open the doors to
Exactly.
all kinds of yeah.
Yeah, and
So
you want
Tits are
to
great.
yeah, and you want to invalidate their views on things. Like we have the freedom to talk about tits on our podcast now.
I will
Thanks, Emma.
happily come on your podcast and also talk about tits for the record. So
well, like I said, in the future, the three of us should reconvene, and as a sort of sequel to this episode, we should watch the Slumber Party Massacre and review it. That
that
would
would
be
be
fun.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So, anyways, guys, I guess that wraps up the Jennifer's Body review.
A long episode.
Yes, but we have a new
You can
guest.
cut the part where I imagined I was on the other podcast with Jennifer's Body.
Drew doesn't edit, Jose. He doesn't
Damn
edit.
it.
He got tired of doing that.
Yeah, it's just I hate
That
it.
was embarrassing though.
If you want to cut something, I can seriously cut something. It's all good with me. But yeah, no, it was. I guess it was kind of cool that this is longer because we got kind of a feel of how your vibe is,
Right.
our vibe. Yeah, actually, this is gonna be a hard conversation to beat because we got 3 more reviews after this.
We
So I
do.
don't. Yeah, I
And
don't
one of
know.
them's House, and we have no idea what to say about that
Oh
movie.
yeah, yeah.
I love that movie.
So
You're
next
talking about
week,
you're talking about like Hausu with the cats.
Yeah, the
right?
Japanese one. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
Sarah-
covering that.
No,
and
you're the one that
nobody
wanted
knows
to-
what to say.
you're the one that picked it, right, for horror comedy.
I'm the one that picked it.
Yeah.
It's there's so
What the
much to
fuck,
talk about
dude?
with that one too.
Oh
If you
my
don't
God.
go 2.5 hours for that fucking movie, I would be surprised because there's a lot happening in that movie.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a beer drinking review,
Oh, that would be great.
which sucks because we're in the dry county. So, but anyways, yeah,
You are, not me.
well, fuck you, Jackson. God.
You say that every episode. It hasn't happened yet. So
Well, I'm not that attracted to you, not Hugh Jackman.
That's a lie.
You don't what? You don't like the overalls? What do you mean?
Eh. I'm just kidding. You're a good looking guy, Jackson.
Thank
But
you.
anyways, I guess spoiler alert, because next episode's gonna be House, the Japanese horror movie. I already watched the movie, and what the fuck? I don't know. We're gonna talk about
Nobody
it.
knows.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, this guy's daughter basically told him everything that she's scared of, and he just put it in the movie. It's like that
That's so cool, though.
Yeah, it's like
Anyway,
that.
we're not talking about that. We got to save all that for
Yeah, I know.
next.
It's like that Key and Peele sketch when about Gremlins 2 when he's like this great
Yes,
doctor and he keeps going around the
exactly
room.
like that.
He's
Yes.
like, "You talking about a googly eye gremlin? That's in the movie." But anyways, guys, you know the drill. If you like this episode and you want to see more spooky and weird content, make sure you slash that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook at Horror Sci-Fi and Beyond. And also, don't forget to leave this episode a killer comment and give it a give this episode a King Kong size thumbs up. And as always, guys, never forget to stay weird.